Sacrifices to be a pro player kind of extreme. You know, there's times where I have friends that I'm really close to ask me to go hang out, and there's times where I have commitments to my team to where I have to practice and put in a lot of hours and make sure I'm putting in more time than these other players that I'm competing against. It's crazy, you know, it just takes a lot if you want to play at this level. Advice for people to get into the pro league, I would say have a great mindset, be positive, just be able to take losses and learn from them. There's no like crazy philosophy. I just like to put a lot of time in. It makes me feel comfortable about my game, especially with how many players that are trying to get in. There's always going to be that one person that's putting in more time than the other, and usually that's what makes the difference.
I've been playing full-time for like over a year now. I quit college and I took last year off, spent the whole Advanced Warfare as a full-time job in Epsilon. I'd like to say it's paying off for me, yeah. I've travelled across the world, earned a fair bit of money, done things I'd never do if I wasn't playing Call of Duty and done it full-time. When I first started playing Call of Duty full-time, it wasn't the best idea in their minds, but I think as it developed and I started going to events, it's like it actually can do something. Then they started following me on social media, checking everything I was doing, watching all the live streams, and now it's at the point where it's literally watching all the time. My whole family's always watching me every time I go away. My leadership role is one of the main things like in our whole team. I've played for that long, I've been in every situation possible, like I just know what to do, like I don't get nervous at like last maps I've played so many of them. I just make sure to stay calm, like I'm the one who calls the strats, so if someone's not comfortable with doing something, then I'll tell them like just don't worry about it, like it is what it is. Like if we do it as a team, we win as a team, we lose as a team, so if something goes wrong, it is what it is. I'm very happy with stage one, especially with like teaming new players and people who what you can say haven't done much in their career. We've done really well. We was actually second for that most of the league. I didn't expect as much, but they surprised me, they surprised everyone. I always aim to win.
We've been playing alongside each other now, myself and my teammates, for a very long time, on and off with different teams and so on, so our chemistry and team bonding's all there, really.
If I was choosing 3 teammates, I'd choose these guys. I know them in and out. I know everything they can bring to a team. There's no question mark on any of them.
We're all accustomed to each other's play style. We've all played with each other for years, and that's kind of why this amalgamation of players happened in the first place. Not to take teams lightly, I think, would be our main priority, and just really drill that in so we go into any game, whether it's against bottom of the league, mid-table, or a team fighting to beat us at the top, go 100% and, you know, make sure every map counts.
My expectation for the season 2 is to win everything. I don't intend to lose anything this year. EGL was a wake-up call, but everything else is just going to be a W after that.
Black Ops has always favoured European teams. We've always had the best performances.
Welcome back to the continued coverage of the Call of Duty World League Global Final for Stage 2. We've seen, obviously, earlier today, some European matches. Now we've had some American matches. Our final match, though, about to kick off. And this one, a lot of people are looking forward to. OpTic Gaming going up against Luminosity. Now joining me on the couch for this series, my roommate, Revan, and my roommate, if I lived in Europe, Momo.
You said it would be Bricey.
After the last event, after how Bricey treated me, I no longer feel that way.
Thank you very much. That means a lot.
You're nice to me, and you know what else is going to be nice? This next game, OpTic and Luminosity, one thing we know for sure. OpTic Gaming, the favored team to come in and win this event. Obviously, they've been the team that has pushed on through everybody in the North American Call of Duty Pro divisions throughout the ending of AW, throughout Black Ops 3. This squad is hungry for another LAN championship. They want the two-peat here in the 2 different stages of Black Ops 3. Revan, realistic odds of them losing this series today?
There are some realistic odds to them losing for sure. I mean, think back all the way back to, I guess, Stage 1 finals when they went up against TSM in the first round. They should have lost that series as well. They're notorious for getting some slow starts to tournaments here. And, you know, in a format like this, you don't have that luxury. Each match is so important because you only get one life.
And now, Momo, obviously you don't cast these guys on a weekly basis, but you watch a ton of OpTic Gaming. You know a lot about these guys. Is this your team to win the event here in the North American division?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, to go against these, you'd have to be crazy or Maven. Like, I just think that these guys, you can't bet against them. But like Revan said, this is a tough game. We saw them at Stage 1 finals, TSM. It's going to be hard.
It most certainly is. And their captain, OpTic Scump, The guy right there, the red hair, just turned 21. He's locked in. He wants to continue to build that Call of Duty legacy he's built himself. Revan, you've faced Scump before.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Is he the best Call of Duty player in history, in natural skill-wise?
Natural skill-wise, yeah. I mean, sure, we're waiting for him to win the world champion, but I think it's pretty safe to say. I mean, the guy just does unreal things. But look, they're going up against a very strong team in Luminosity. I don't think this is going to be like a walk in the park for these guys.
And we talk all about map breakdowns and which favors one team more than the other. I know we have some breaches in here, which OpTic are not very good at as a team. I think they're like 39% overall win rate on that overall map. Not fun for them. Luminosity, they need to push and kind of make that play happen. We've also seen where concussions and tacticals can really throw off a team like OpTic Gaming. I think Luminosity need to bring out anything they potentially can here. Momo, is there anything else in this Luminosity arsenal that you think they can use against OpTic?
I just want them to do something different. I don't want to see a simple ban and protect. I don't want to just see them playing into OpTic's hands almost, because they will punish them. I want them, like you said, maybe a concussion, a flash, just ban something or protect something which is going to throw them off. We saw like a protection of the Shiva before, so I'd like to see something like that.
And I mean, we've seen OpTic go on tilt from that in the past and how it might throw them off. And remember, this is a single elimination best-of-7 tournament. On the same front, though, which we spoke about earlier on with Millennium, OpTic also strike me as a team that the later a series goes on is the better OpTic Gaming get. They know how to adapt. We saw it way back at the Stage 1 finals. They're going to look to do it again here, and I think that if they go down, Luminosity can never get complacent. They can never get comfortable, because even if you're up 3-0, it is more than likely OpTic Gaming will give you a fight down to that final score, final round you get to win a series.
Yeah, whether it's a series, a map, a round, you can't let OpTic Gaming hang around. They're the best in the business at not only coming back in the game, but also capitalizing on the small mistakes that you're going to make throughout the match. You need to play, near perfect Call of Duty to have a chance at beating these guys.
And now we always talk about who are the best snipers in Black Ops 3, whether it's in North America or Europe or ANZ. There are some names that come to mind in Europe, Reedy being one. Obviously, you've got Zero up there as well. In North America, though, it's interesting to see the two near the top for almost everybody, Study and Formal. And you've got to think maybe if this goes into the Game 3 S&D, even down to that Game 7 Search and Destroy, how the sniper presence will play to things. Is that something you expect to see heavily brought out here at Stage 2 Finals?
I definitely think so. I think this is going to be head-to-head almost. And I want to highlight almost Study, because, yes, Formal will get the limelight. He's a fantastic sniper. But Study, when he played at Anaheim, it was ridiculous to watch.
Oh, my gosh.
It was just like another Study. It was different. I want the same one back today.
Yeah,
we like to joke around that he was the best player in the world there for like a good 15-minute span.
I mean, what, 52 in the hard point, went on to drop like 37 in the uplink, 10+ in both S&Ds. When the man's on point, he's tough to beat. Let's look at the rest of his squad, though, for Luminosity. This team turned it around once they added Study and Nameless to the squad. Spacely and Saints have been around for the longest time. This team, I think 9-4 since they added on those two players. They've looked consistent. They've looked good. Do they transition it over to this match here today? Who's your X factor, Revan, on this team?
It's pretty tough to say. I think you go with Study on this one. Just going back to the point we were just bringing up a little bit ago, his performance at Anaheim, obviously unreal. If he brings that same fire, that same intensity to this match right here, I think Luminosity are certainly capable of giving OpTic Gaming a run for their money. Yeah,
we've seen Study grow as a player all the way from back, what? He was on Envy and Ghosts. He had that champs run, looking to make it happen again at COD XP. When you think of the top teams in the world right now, Momo, as someone from an outside perspective, is Luminosity a team that immediately comes to mind, or are they still building that characteristic for themselves?
They're close, but I don't put them in that category just yet. Yes, you've got your OpTic, your Rise, and your FaZe and everything envious, but I think LG, they're just that one step behind, but maybe this is the time to shine.
Hey, this would be the series to help propel them further in that list. Against OpTic Gaming, they have a tough task ahead, but this first map could not favor them more. I've watched Luminosity beat OpTic Gaming on Breach Hardpoint multiple times, and as we go ahead through this Ban and Protect, Revan, I'm looking at things that will affect Formal on this game. It is the game type and hardpoint map that he does struggle with compared to the others. I know he made a whole video roasting the casters for saying that, where he had a great game.
The stats are there.
The stats are there to back it up. Man of War ban from Karma. OpTic Gaming sticking what they feel comfortable with.
And look, just going back to the point you brought up, Luminosity have beaten OpTic Gaming on this map in MOBA before, and because of that, I don't think they're going to do anything significant here when it comes to, you know, banning out stuff like attachments or trying to protect a certain tactical. I think this is going to be kind of very standard ban and protect. Maybe they might do something like ban out kinetic armor. I feel like that might be like the craziest thing. It's actually going to be Heatwave here from Space League.
Heatwave, and there go the tacticals. Tacticals so important for this OpTic Gaming team to ban out. Momo, you were a professional player at one point. The use of tacticals, now it seems like it's almost a dying art in competitive Call of Duty, especially in Black Ops 3.
Yeah, I wish I had the option to get rid of them because they were frustrating. I think
back in the day, we didn't have any counters to them either.
Yeah.
True, very, very true. And I just think it does play into OpTic's, you know, favor. However, you've raised a really good point. It's Breach, and it's been done before. Luminosity, don't rule them out of this one.
Don't rule them out at all. We are in our specialist draft, though. Kinetic Armor, Scythe, Psychosis, OpTic Gaming with Active Camo, Tempest, Kinetic Armor, and Scythe. It was a 2-2 split, taking the Tempest over Psychosis. If you're on the side of OpTic Gaming, I'm a big fan of that one.
Oh yeah, of course. I was about to bring up, why would you not want something like a Tempest in the hands of Study? Why would you want him to have Psychosis? We've seen the types of things this guy could do. Normally, he could really do it all. I mean, assault rifle, SMG. You put a specialist weapon in his hands, you got to figure even something like a Purifier would be a great pickup over a Psychosis.
Anything really, in my opinion. Now we did talk about OpTic Gaming and their struggles on this map. Let's kind of talk a little bit more about that idea. 39% win rate on Breach throughout all the game modes. Their lowest win percentage for all CWL maps. Revan, this is an OpTic Gaming team that have always bolstered a very, very strong map win percentage, close to 70%. With something as big of an outlier like that, what is it on this map that they just don't click on, that just doesn't work out for them?
It's tough to point out one specific thing. A lot of times we go into formal about this. I feel like at times, because, you know, he is a positional based player, and you look around the map, like where are your main power positions? You're either looking at like top base area, you're looking at top broken. There's no, I mean, sure, maybe you can make an argument for something like top glass, but when you're looking at like lanes to lock down and positions to do so from, it's really just in the middle of the map where you could do that, and I feel like that's something that hurts Formal as a player.
Formal, a great positioning player as an AR on this map. It's a little bit tougher to kind of read exactly where you have to go. He knows where he has to, but when there's submachine guns flying over the place, when there's no tacticals to kind of slow them down, it's tough to do as an AR on a map like Breach when you just can't sit in that power position like you have all over a map like Stronghold that he is much better at. Momo, I got to ask, your predictions for this series, where do you see this going? What's the map count going to be?
I'm going to go with OpTic. I'm going to go 4-1. I think there will be a slip map, and I could see it very well being this first map. And if that happens, LG just need to go all out, super hype, take the momentum, but I do still favor OpTic Gaming.
Revan?
I think 4-2 in favor of OpTic Gaming. I think they closed out in the second hard point.
I'm going to say one thing. Luminosity, when they added Nameless and Study to this squad, it was to beat teams like OpTic Gaming in scenarios like this. They do not want to drop this series versus OpTic, and I can tell you right now, OG are fired up to take home another LAN championship. Let's see if they can get on their way. On the casting desk, though, it's Machine and Maven.
I'm incredibly excited. This is the first time that you and I. Man, I was gonna say, like, I've been such a fan of yours. You know, you're good looking. You're funny.
Oh,
you're a
you
great
sweetheart.
caster. You're good at hype.
I just like how loud you are.
I am very loud. It was funny when you came in. I saw you like sit over there, and it was when I was like going nuts during like I think it was like the 5 spree.
You have to be more specific. You go nuts almost every.
That's true. That's true.
Every
And
day.
I look over and you're just looking at me like, "What are you doing? Like, are you okay?" Yes, I'm fine. And I'm excited for this match. It's OpTic,
Yes,
Luminosity, and this is going to be the first North American match you've ever casted, right?
The first match I've casted with you, the first North American match I've casted.
Oh, so you have no idea what's going on.
Who am I? And what is going on here? Oh my god, we're starting. Here we go then. Luminosity versus OpTic. I'm joined by a very handsome Maven.
Woo!
And we start our hard point with a quite literal bang. Grenades flying everywhere. Let's see who can start drawing first blood.
Well, OpTic, again, they've struggled on this map a bit, especially against Luminosity, but we're on land now. You got to expect the boys to go big. Formal trying to get forward here. Lockdown players coming out of top broken, coming out of bottom broken. Starts to get going, but unfortunately catching a Simtex to the toe.
Yes, this is going to be a solid start. You can see OpTic just getting initial stabilization on this hill, coming down for the early break. We do see Formal laying down the law, 2 quick kills with his famed AR, and we are seeing Crimsic just holding that hill. He's just racking up the seconds. Look at this, almost 20 seconds already with starting off, and OpTic having no trouble. It looks like Formal's just holding them at arm's length. What's going on here? Crimsic hasn't has to do a thing.
No, yeah, that's what you want, right? You want your guy in the hard point not to have to do work, not have to pick up kills, just rack up the time. But with 10 seconds left, we are going to be looking to rotate out, and you see at the top of your minimap, it's number 1. It's going to be Spacely with the early rotation. Already set up inside. He's able to find one. Can he find more in the back? But what's interesting about this matchup, like, is there a possibility for OpTic to come out and there's 4 of them? Yes. But when Luminosity is on point, and with the maps that we have in this particular matchup, they can definitely give this OpTic gaming team a run.
Dude, yesterday you were talking to me, you were saying, actually, we have a potential real series here.
Yeah.
On paper, not necessarily, but if, in your belief, you actually think we could see a proper strong LG?
Well, just because what we've seen from Breach, at least in the online league, has been kind of suspect at times for OpTic. And when you take a look at the actual uplinks we're going to be looking at here, they're 2 of Luminosity's better ones. So we'll have to see if they're going to be able to stand the test of time here against OpTic Gaming, winning one, but now they're able to win the second. But Study here from Luminosity still holding strong. You're seeing Luminosity taking the lead.
Yeah, no trouble really from Study. He's been racking up plenty of time on this hill. He's going to get questioned, though. Who was that? Crimsic just walks in, and looks like Study's body is going to be walking out. A second as well. Head of Saints is gone. And so far, so good for Luminosity. They had no trouble in the second rotation. It does look like OpTic have given them the scrap.
Yeah, they're going to give them the scrap here. We'll take a look at the mini-map. You can see all your green arrows setting up around Palace as they're looking to hold. You're going to have Formal holding the backside, and we're going to stick with him because you can see on the minimap 3 now spawning at green. They're going to start to apply pressure on Formal. He's able to one-pop one, finds a second, able to tag him up. If he can hold this push here, he is going to put OpTic Gaming in such a good point to pick up quite a bit of time. He's had Crimsix actually rotate over. He called in the fact there are multiple players pushing, and they're going to shut this down with ease.
Look at how easy this has been for them. Formal just laughing at them. He takes another off. Spacely's gone. Okay, Formal, no trouble here. They're just jumping into the meat grinder. Another body hits the deck. 11 to 5, a 5-kill streak from Formal, and it is most definitely not a Formal affair as LG. It is looking rather messy, rather scrappy, and another body gets thrown off.
I think he's one-bursted 5 out of 6 players. You know, he made a video. He's a little bit frustrated taking some flack when we were pulling out some of the stats for this map. And I know him, man. He is a guy with a lot of pride. He's coming out to prove a point here, and you're seeing it right now when he's on the 6th streak.
He is terrifying with this assault rifle in his hands. He saw what happened on the first opening break. He saw it just holding it down from AC. Now he sits in Palace, and he indeed does look like a king. At this point in time, though, we do see Crimsix about to lay down the law with a VMP of his own. He has been rather influential, double digits already for him. And let's have a quick look. If you do actually look at those numbers, 3 members of OpTic are closing in on 10+. Not one, just one rather, Nameless from LG has only got double digits.
And this is where they beat you. I mean, honestly, they're maybe the best slaying team in the history of Call of Duty when you look at them from a talent perspective. It's hard to match. I had to get back to Formal because his streak is still going. He's now only 25 off the Lightning, and you can really quick ramp things up for the Cerberus. He's going to gun another almost fully streak. This is not an easy gunfight. In the head, just coming off of Nameless. He's at a 9 streak before falling, but he has picked up full streaks, and I feel we kind of got to get right back to him. He has just been controlling the tempo and the pace from the kick.
I don't see this every day, Maven. I haven't seen this. Formal, it does not look legitimate. So damn accurate with this M8 in his hands. He's just mowing him down. He's got a Cerberus. He'll be sitting on that for a while. Likely won't see that till maybe the 4th, 5th rotation. Now, though, Formal's just going close quarters. No problem. Bullet to the back of the spine of Study. He's going to get another one on the cross. Just the tag this time, though. The final 10 seconds will go the way of OpTic. If you take a step back and actually look at how Luminosity are handling this one, it does seem like they're kind of reluctant to give OpTic any of the scrap. When they do have a hold, they try and fight it to the bitter end.
Well, they're in with 60 points or so. They certainly have a chance to climb back in this. Saints is going to be inside. He has kinetic armor to work with. He's going to go ahead and pop it. He needs to find some kills here. His teammates dropping around. He gets nothing. I think it's the headshot actually coming in from Crimsix, negating that kinetic armor. Nameless on top steps, looking for the retake. He's real close to picking up the scythe, but they need to do some damage here. They've got to get a break, otherwise this one's going to start to blow open.
And that's the buzzword. Do some damage. Look at this kill feed. It is just green beats blue. It's just constant. Yeah. OpTic are just outslaying Luminosity at this point in time, and I don't care what your game plan is. I don't care how your communication is. If you can't get the kills, you're not going to get the win.
And you're plus, what, just looking at Crim and Formal there at the top of OpTic Gaming, you're 5 and you're 6. They're both sitting at a combined, what, plus 20 just between the two? And right now you have a 4 streak for Crim. You have a 4 streak for Formal. I mean, this is insane stuff, and this is why they can beat you so handily. They kill in flurries. They go on these big streaks. They get the kill streaks to work with, and it's just very, very scary to deal with OpTic Gaming.
It's such a stark contrast as well, because we've seen this hard point played out numerous times, and how often have we seen an AR be as influential as Formal?
Well, typically not. That's why, I mean, it's not even a knock him where you struggled on this map. This is not the easiest map for ARs. Like, look at the last series. We saw, I think it was Slasher running the AR for Envy. It was Fears running the AR for the side of H2K. Both went one around even, the other double negative. It's not the easiest map to run an AR on. But look at what you just saw there. You had basically a 5 streak for Crim, 5 streak for Formal, followed up by a 5 streak for Scump. They just all have the ability to beat you. It's insane.
At this point in time, though, the Luminosity do have control of middle. We'll see for how long, and just as I say that, Karma turns up with his Arcade 5, and there's a Scythe in play. Formal decides to put the M8 on his back for a moment, and pulls out the robotic murder arm. And here comes another one. He's just got 3, racking them up now. He's on for the 30 bomb at this point in time. 27 already to the man's name. Luminosity, however, have evaded the 100-point club, so they'll be happy about that.
And I'm guaranteeing right now the Formal is trying to prove a point, man. This is impressive stuff. He's at 27-11, looking at triple positive, but let's see if they can scream back. Luminosity trailing big, but they have the potential to do so. If they can just start evening out the slang a little bit, they have an opportunity to come back. But everyone looking at, like, I mean, almost a double negative, or at least negative for the most part for Luminosity.
You keep saying that he's trying to like redeem himself. I mean, where has this criticism come from? Formal's always been regarded as a strong AR.
It's just, it's this particular map. He, at one point on hardpoint, was like a .82 KD, which for him, when he's usually 1.1, 1.2, struggled a little bit. Ooh. And this has been a map, you know, we've criticized him as casters a little bit, and he's coming out here to prove a point, just absolutely slaughtering the side of Luminosity. Incredible stuff, but we'll see if LG can get it done. They're trying to pick up time here. They're getting control inside of cages, but just like that, it's Karma and crew breaking in. Study can't check the back, and OpTic continues to roll.
It honestly just looks like Luminosity take the hill, and then when OpTic want it, they take it back. It does not look like there's any sort of kind of discussion about it. It is just, okay, OpTic would like control now, and they get it. Currently not too much of a fight being put up by LG. Formal is going to struggle. A double tag on Study there. His positioning not ideal with those thrusters. Nade's going to land on the face of Scump, but he's still breathing, and he's going to have a fresh magazine for the coming 5 seconds. Not going to be challenged out, though. That will put OpTic right to the brink of the 250 mark, and it'll be ending on this next hill.
Well, we'll look at the rotation here over to Palace. You're going to have Formal dealing with 2 players up top. An awkward engagement, not able to do it. We'll switch to Study's POV from Luminosity. Just try to focus on Luminosity, see if they can mount the comeback. But the problem you get when you're at 242 here for OpTic, you literally have to play perfect hardpoint. You have to win every single rotation battle. You have to get every single bit of scrap time. You can't leave any time. You're talking about almost like 4 straight hardpoints that have to be flawless for Luminosity. It seems like too tall a task to ask for.
It definitely is, but I mean, it's also about confidence. This is a best of 7, Maven. It's about getting closer, feeling good about the result on hardpoint. Even if it's not gone well for you, just seeing that 250 mark is going to come right here, right now, and OpTic to start with a bang. Luminosity fall in the first of this best of 7 series. It was expected. Formal proving a big point there with the Zema.
And look at it, when you take a look at the opposite ARs, when you have, you know, Study and Nameless doing it in different pieces, and you have Formal at 31 and 18, Study, who's the guy that has shown flashes of brilliance where he can slay with the likes of OpTic Gaming, goes 13 and 30. You cannot win a game against OpTic when you're going triple negative.
It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And all I can say now is I'm excited for the rest of this series.
Absolutely am. We'll see if Luminosity is able to battle back in this one. But for now, that's enough from us. Let's toss it over to the couch.
Yeah, I'm in a YouTube video now. I'm in a YouTube video. He's going to clip out the part where I said this is where Formal normally struggles. We bring up the whole statistics thing. Then he does that. That'll be a nice ending to it. Then my Twitter will be flooded with mean tweets. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it should be a fun time, but look, OpTic Gaming played that one perfectly. I mean, they were ahead in rotation. They massively outslayed Luminosity, which certainly made things easier for them, but Formal also changed up his play style a little bit going into this one. He wasn't, you know, solely just holding down a power position of the map. He wasn't afraid to get aggressive, put himself inside the hard point in a position where he's making some high-impact kills, stays alive, and, you know, in a position like the spree he goes on over near, like, top glass, all the Luminosity players now, they're drawing their attention over towards Formal, and all he has to do is stay alive. He guns the player over at the AC near the side of construction, and he just takes a lot of pressure off his teammates. Everybody performing here for OpTic Gaming.
Luminosity stood no chance there, and you thought this was one that Luminosity could have taken. Biggest differences in that LG performance that you saw earlier on back in Anaheim.
We didn't see the same players in LG, but we definitely didn't see the same players in OpTic. The likes of Formal stepping up like he did on a map where, you know, it's not his preferred map, it's not his, you know, best map. It just shows that he can just step it up and outclass any team here at any time. And I think that kind of sums up OpTic sometimes. But to discredit LG, I think, is almost a bit unfair. The guys, you know, had moments of brilliance. They had that, you know, partial, you know, into some of the hard points. But it's just like Machine said, when they want it, they just take it back, and there's no say in it.
There was no say at all. Now, we always talk about what happens in the map. I know we have TP, though, to break it down just a little bit further.
Thank you so much, guys. First time on the Telestrator, let's have some fun. It's going to be starting off with my man Formal for the replay on the Breach. We saw him start to take over on Palace, but going to be focusing a bit on the rotation. Let's get this clip rolling so I can explain what's going down. You see Scump at the back doors, and now it's Formal's job to get to the back and control these spawns to lock it down. He finds his back player at the wall run AC, does a great job of that, whereas Karma breaks in from the middle, and all hell breaks loose for OpTic. Doing a great job over here. He hops up top green and starts laser beaming people across the map. Great stuff from Formal on that one, locking down the spawns and has his teammates help to get into that green hill. So, gonna be starting off breaking down this one for you guys. Here's how this one worked. Formal, working on this rotation at the back. I'll pop 2 of them on there. Double the Formal. He's twice the player as everyone else. Moving on, here's what he did. He had 1 player challenging him over here at this back wall run, and that's this part of the spot that blocks the spawn. So, he works over towards the side of the map, gets to back AC, takes out that player there. And what does he do next? He hops back up, top green. He has his other players over here at the middle of the map breaking into broken. Karma picks up 2. He starts laser beaming people across the map over there towards the broken side. Right over there, 2 kills there. The other teams break in here, and there you go. Easy break for OpTic Gaming. They do it time and time again. Such a well-executed strategy from them, and that's why they're so darn successful on Hardpoint in general. Very quality plays from the lineup. That's why they're able to break it open and end up taking that Hardpoint. Hope you guys enjoyed this. That's going to do it for me. Going to throw it back over to the guys at the desk.
I'm going to tell you right now, the reason why that looks so easy for OpTic is because there are like nobody people in the world that can hit those shots that Formal was getting towards that player on AC. Majority of the time, you see the AR in that power position Formal was in to just hide, play their life. No, this is Formal. He wants to make a statement. He did just that. Double positive in the game. As now, OpTic Gaming will go up 1-0, and they'll head into uplink with the opportunity to not only take a 2-0 series lead, but just carry a momentum that is tough to break when a team like OpTic gets it.
Yeah, if they bring that same slaying performance to a map like evac uplink, it can get out of hand very quickly and very fast.
OpTic are great at forcing the spawns out of the opponent, getting those rallies in and revving. From the side of LG, though, on this map, we have seen some moments of brilliance for them where they've absolutely destroyed teams, where they've looked like the better team. I don't think that happens here versus OpTic. Who's the player that needs to turn things around? I mean, outside of Study, who needs to be the one
it's
for LG?
It's got to be Saints. Saints is that aggressive SMG slayer that always gets the job done. It's something that we bring up time and time again, and you need Saints to have a bigger impact around the map here.
I mean, do you not like your Momo bringing out some of those, maybe a 2-3 AR setup if needed, if you're LG with maybe a Man of War that has now made it on through, something like a DT type tactic?
This is the most interesting thing for me because obviously I don't cast these guys in and out, but the ban and protect, very, very standard across, you know, all regions for uplink. And I want to see how different these guys play because obviously in Europe we see, you know, a lot of people, teams like wrapping it around. And from watching the games that I have, it seems quite similar. But OpTic, I think, have that slaying power, sometimes just a brute force through them. And that's what I want to see because we saw them taking like, you know, Scythe and Tempest. I just see this almost getting worse for LG.
Yeah, they're a team that can make the less preferred side the preferred side in whatever scenario they're in. There's a look at the OG boys. They look cool, calm, and collected. Luminosity, they're only down 1-0, which I think is the silver lining here for them. They can still turn this series around. It is not near being done yet. This man right here, he had a pretty poor game 1, but he has the highest overall KD on evac uplink at 1.34. A 1.11 as a team, and this is what I brought up earlier. This is a good map for LG, just like that map 1, but the issue is, if OpTic did that on one of LG's stronger maps on Breach, now it's evac uplink. What's stopping OpTic Gaming from doing it again?
You're just waiting on the guys from Luminosity to show up. If they come out flat once again and they go down 0-2 in the series, then the doubt starts to set in their minds, and then they start to lose a little bit of their confidence, and it only gets worse from there. So once again, I'm looking at Saints. You saw the stats from Study as well. This is kind of like the dynamic duo for me on this Luminosity team. You need to have a bigger impact. Now that the Man of War also makes it through, Nameless could have a bigger impact as well, but it's not like only the guys on Luminosity can use the Man of War. It's available for the guys on OpTic as well.
And now if you're OpTic Gaming, you're going into this map, you're already up 1-0, you know what your play style is, you go with it just like normal. Is there any tactic you want to see them maybe use off the break, give them a solid start, get that score in early on?
For me, it's not really the tactic, it's just getting a good start. For OpTic, at the moment, the momentum's with them. For LG, I think if they get to a slow start, they're just going to get punished. So what I will be watching for is Saints, Study, getting that very quick start, maybe a one-point play just to kind of ease them into the game and not go down very quickly.
I mean, OpTic Gaming have won already, outslayed by 30 in this respawn. And the first respawn, we're going to keep track of it as the series goes on. You've got another one here. Let's go ahead, though. Send it to our casters for evac uplink.
Thank you. You guys were brilliant. TP was majestic as always there on the telestration.
Double the formal. I like that.
Yeah, double formal, double the player, whatever you said. That was incredible. But here we go. It's time for evac uplink. And now, when we looked at this, I actually was one of the guys going through kind of looking at the stats for, you know, the stats they bring up on the lower thirds. And what I looked at was like, this looks really good for Luminosity. This is one of their best maps. Study crushes. They have an overall 1.11. Like, this is a really, really good map for them. But you got to remember, Study just went 11-30, and he's a very streaky player. A player that needs to get hyped, kind of get into it. So if he starts out slow here, like, I don't know, man. They need a big performance from him.
Absolutely. I mean, you're not wrong in saying that, like, you're basically looking for silver linings at this point in time. You're saying they're looking at the stats like, can I find a reason that LG will pick up a map in this best of 7? We'll be finding out. I mean, OpTic already, showed that they can be slow starters in series. However, it doesn't look like it. After that hard point was a little litmus test of where OpTic are at, and right now they are looking very, very solid. Here we go, though. It is OG versus LG, and we're jumping straight into the action with the aforementioned Studies. Pulled out the Shiva. Not the first time we've seen it here in the Stage 2 finals. It's rocking with that long barrel on top of that one. Spacey's the one to draw first blood, though. Formal is gone. We do begin our second in this series.
And from this side, if they can get some crucial kills, Saints picking up a 2-piece, if they can get forward, get OpTic Gaming spawning up top, get them pinned, they can really, really do some damage here. It's going to be him going over the top, trying to hit the 1-point toss, not going to be able to connect, but the drone still in the back of the OpTic base.
He got so much freedom there. Why was there no attention towards Glass? He just walks in and says, oh, do you mind if I have this? Okay. And has a free shot over towards the uplink. Really
a big part of it, Saints had just picked up the 2-piece. They had the man advantage, and they were able to try and get forward here quickly. Nameless still trying to tag players up in the base, ultimately going to end up falling, but you can see in the minimap, it's drone control and aggression from the side of Luminosity to kick things off. Spacely's going to try and tee up a 1-point toss off the rip. Early advantage here for Luminosity. They're looking strong here in the early moments.
Yeah, you're going to be seeing OpTic, though, get a flurry of frags. No problem there. They're going to be trying to grab the drone for themselves. Nameless gone as well. That's a little bit of room for them to breathe now, stretch their legs, and indeed start using them to run towards that uplink. And well, Study, he needs to get maybe some stronger legs for Study as he's off the map.
Yeah, we were waiting for Study to basically come around the corner as Formal kind of had him teed up. Doesn't matter. As you see him falling off the map there on X-Ray. Karma trying to get forward with the drone, not able to do so. It's still Krim, I think, that's moved out ahead, trying to make plays. Going to have a one-on-one engagement, trying to open up lanes for his team. That's going to set up.
This is looking good.
It's going to set up also for Scump to get forward. He's going to die almost immediately, but he's in a position that he should be able to open up the lane for them at least to maybe get the drone off, but now it's really just Formal working with it.
This is a really solid defense from LG. You can see they have managed to mow them down. Saints from behind using that wall run to position effectively, and Study
really puts
a couple of bullets into the rib cage of Karma. All good in the hood for now then. 1-0. Luminosity, that was their test. That was their first test here on the second map, and they passed with flying colors.
Absolutely. They had a nice defensive stand there. It felt like OpTic Gaming, typically I've talked to Karma about this, and he agrees with you. From their side of the map, you want to wrap back, you want to play it safe, you want to play a possession game.
Right.
By seeing them push forward and try to push from Glass side, it's kind of telling me they think right now they can have their way with this Luminosity side. After how that game 1 went, they think they can bully them.
Wow.
We'll see if they're able to do so, because so far, so good for LG.
Yeah, that double from Nameless was huge. In fact, Nameless is making it all but painless for OpTic. Very, very impressive to see from him so early on here with that AR as well. We've seen very influential ARs, it seems, today. This series is boding well. And talking of, well, quite the opposite, actually. Scump is rocking the VMP. He's just having a little swim.
Well, they're 2 down right now. It's going to be another defensive test here for the side of Luminosity. Is Scump trying to tee people up, trying to open up the lanes for them to get forward with the drone. Krim has grabbed it and tossed it forward. So we'll get a little bit more into the action here with Crim6. He's got an EMP out. Get the hit marker, knows who's around the edge, but that's not an easy gunfight to win when they're using the barrel there as cover.
So much attention to the lower side of the map. Look at this. Almost every player, apart from the spawn coming in for Nameless, and mowing them down is Crim6. But again, it's Mr. Saints who does deliver 2 very important kills, and that enables OpTic, or rather disables OpTic on the offense. That's 2 now. That both solid defense from LG.
And it feels like they've done just enough, right? Like one gunfight goes the way of OpTic, and they're probably getting points on the board. Now it feels like they've said, like, all right, we're trying to push through the front. We haven't done it successfully. Let's go to the bread and butter, and that is working this around the back, wrapping it. I don't think you noticed him up top. You think maybe he'd have vision. A little bit easier, obviously, for us with X-Ray, but now you just hand over possession, and this is going to go to Saints. He's got kinetic armor. Let's see how he likes to play this.
OpTic are going to be kicking themselves. Twice they run into Saints and have trouble. They go to the other side of the map, and guess who's waiting for them? It's Saints. He's hanging out in the bedroom. He's got his feet up, and he just slays them.
I actually mentioned this earlier in one of the matches, that teams have gotten more used to the top route. That Saints actually mentioned him specifically. He has gotten so good at cutting off that angle, making sure you can't get to the outside wall run where you're almost guaranteed to have the 1-point freebie. And now that is 2 down. Luminosity looking to get more points on the board. You have the heat wave here for Spacely. He's going to go through for the dunk. And this is why this is one of LG's best maps in uplink, and they're showing it so far.
I mean, Saints has just been so integral. He's been the best defense and offensive presence from LG, and 16 frags does tell the whole story. He is murdering OpTic at this point in time. 50 seconds remain, and it's almost probably the last attempt from OpTic here on the last side. I will admit they are playing in the less favored side, and so just four concessions isn't the worst story for them.
You feel fine if you're OpTic. You definitely feel like you can swing this into your side. That dunk is huge too, because I was about to say, like, even if you're down 4, you get a solid 30 to 40 seconds hold on the switch, and they can bring it back almost instantly and tie up the game. But getting that dunk there, as good as you felt about Luminosity's hold, you're feeling a little bit better about the chances for OpTic once we swap.
Crimsix has rolled the dice with this Tempest. He chose to pull it out. 25 seconds left. That suggests that they want to try and make a play, but it looks like Scump's double will not be enough. 20 seconds left. The drone still has not been picked up. Let's not forget, though, that you can have plays right down to the final 5. Now Spacey investing that heat wave. We are seeing Specialists invested now. What a connection onto Formula. Barely saw him myself. He was but a blur. And now 9 seconds left, and it is going to be one last chance for Luminosity to make that number bigger.
Here it goes. They got 5 seconds to work with. One pushing out the front. The dunk is coming through, and that is what you need. You answer the first score from OpTic Gaming with a dunk of your own. They maintain that 4-point advantage. I just don't know if it's enough, because the problem is if LG can play it smart on the second side, they can maintain control. They play the possession game, they go up top, use the wall run, and you're looking at like 45 to 60 seconds every single time of possession. They're okay, but if you give OpTic an inch, man, they will take a mile on you.
And returning to the point you brought up beforehand was that the LG defense was quite literally determined by one frag. You know, if that frag did go the way of OpTic, all of a sudden OpTic actually come into this half with a lead. And so, yes, it was a little shaky from Luminosity. However, they do hold the lead over OpTic here in the second of the series, and we'll see if they can maintain it now. Solid kill spread from OpTic. Look at that, just 2 kills separating top from bottom so far, and Karma's going to concede another death. That's number 16 on the board for him. He's not been having a sterling series just yet, but now the battle at glass has been won by OpTic. Oh my god, the kill feed is all green.
OpTic will probably have the lead in this game within the next 45 seconds. Look where the spawns come in. They're spawning top, and now Luminosity has to decide, are we going to overextend? Are we going to battle back? It looks like they're going to 4-man overextend. So a lot of pressure is actually going to be now back on Formal. He knows the overextension has gone through. He's spotted 1. He's spotted 2. He's able to find 1 kill, can't find the second, and that overextension was beautiful. That worked out brilliantly for the side of Luminosity.
That could have gone so awfully for Luminosity.
It could have.
However, even a perfect read from Formal. He knew they were coming, and still Luminosity managed to bounce straight back. And I say bounce, it wasn't even off with that drone. Bounces straight in to the uplink, and now Nameless wants to go for a bit of a return. This is solid work from Luminosity. If they get a couple of kills here, we're looking at number 8.
The fact was they did it together. You could 4-man wrap back, you could 4-man overextend. They went together on the overextension, and that dunk from OpTic just got negated. They got 2 points on the board. They counter back, and that I was scared. When they got them spawning out, I was like, oh god, this could be the OpTic train now coming in, the plow coming through, but they're able to hold strong.
We talk about being decisive and making these split-second decisions. The fact that all 4 members of Luminosity just held onto that call and all embraced it, that was what makes them
that's half the battle, honestly. It's just playing as a team in a situation like that, and now this is the route you want to see from Luminosity. You want to see them get on this outside wall run. You're going to be down to probably like 3 minutes on the clock. What? Stay on the map, baby! Not able to do so, but does give the kill. What's scary, though, when you look at the minimap, it is going to be a bit of pressure around the drone spot for OpTic Gaming, so they may be set up pretty nicely here to get something going offensively.
Yeah, we saw Formal's impact with the Scythe on hardpoint. Now he's pulled it out again on uplink, and it does look like Crimsix could just walk this in for 2. Oh, there's Karma and Formal hanging out. This is going to be nothing but 2 points. Unfortunately, though, the double S's come in.
That's what you need there, because, again, if it's the opposite way, you get 3 down for Luminosity, you're back in that similar position. Do we overextend? Do we fight back to our base? How do we battle this? You end up giving up a lot of points. Both times that OpTic has pushed through, they've dealt with it pretty well. They haven't given up that big rally that you kind of expect to see from OpTic Gaming.
And now we are going to be seeing OpTic go for another pass at this. They are going to have some trouble towards AC. No, they won't. Study has his Tempest ripped from his fingers by Crimsix and the VMP. And now Karma, the question is, what do you do here?
Waiting for
Scump. Yeah, he's waiting for Scump.
He's got Scump coming, he's got Formal, he's got some assistance. There's 1 player in the back, 1 waiting directly under the drone, maybe for the interception, but now the kills are coming through. He's starting to push forward, he has the help he needs. It's just enough of a distraction for him to get the dunk, and we're all tied up, baby, with 2.5 to go.
Credit where it is due. Karma did not let that heatwave burn a hole in his pocket. You know, he wasn't sitting there, itching to use that. He managed to get a full 2-pointer without investing that specialist, and that could pay dividends later on.
Well, 2 bursts coming in for Formal. Oh, God, almost gets turned on, but he's finally able to pick it up. Drone now going to be going back to Crimsix. Okay. He's very close to picking up his Tempest as well, and this could be the lead change. Well, OpTic Gaming get their first lead of this game. There you go. 10-8 OpTic Gaming. They're starting to get a bit of control now.
This is going to be a very high-octane 2 minutes. Prepare yourselves, folks. Strap yourselves in. Now Formal has control. He's chosen to go for a bit of a run, not something you see too often. Now he's going to encounter a bit of a problem. Actually chooses to try and pass it out, try and get it towards the hands of Crimsix, but there's the LG defense. That's what we ordered. Saint Study all rallying now towards Glass. Scump, however, is causing problems. Study, you're not going to find success there. He hasn't got anyone around him. Instead, chooses to reset the drone and try and make an impact with the M8.
Yeah, I think that's Formal. He's gunning in the back. He gets tagged up, goes full red pretty much immediately. Nice one burst there. In to pick up Scump mid-map. He's got 2 more in front. He's able to find 2. It's going to be a 2v2 battle here around drone spawn. Saint's able to win 1. Saint's able to not win the second. So OpTic will at least hold for the moment, but drone back in the hands of Luminosity.
Now Luminosity, they have sitting that they see that 70 seconds and they realize that they have to go for the slow play. This is by no means going to be a quick one. Thank you very much. This is going to be looking for that 2-point play. Okay. Spacely's making my palms a little sweaty. We'll see if his knees are weak on this wall run. Currently having no trouble, just going to be waiting for a bit of assistance. You can see LGF surging forward. They actually have control of the uplink. This is looking great.
This should be a dunk. We're going to have a tie game now. The thing you have to do if you're Luminosity, you have to get back to mid-map and make sure there's not an immediate counter. So I'm going to hop right back to 7 on the mini-map, which was nameless. Saints is there as well. Saints can win some key gunfights. There's one more person to deal with. It's Crim6 they have to battle with. He's putting shots in from behind. He's able to get the edge, wrap the corner, 40 seconds on the clock. You get the pass forward. It goes to Study. The heat wave comes in from Karma. Everybody dropping. Karma got the drone. It hasn't been reset yet. There's nobody there to follow it up.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. We're looking at OT. 2 letters I'm sure Luminosity do not want to see. 28 seconds. Now we see OpTic on the offensive, and they are going to be seeing a couple of problems actually caused by Crim6. You can see he's hanging out by AC, waiting to make this final push, and Scump's already drawn blood. Spacey gone. Now they're going to have a complete walk in the park. This will be the 3-1 pointer. This is looking good for OpTic all of a sudden.
You've got 2 down for either side. Make it 3 for OpTic Gaming. They have to get to mid-map, try to pick up the tie. Only 10 seconds to work with. They have to get the drone. OpTic has the advantage. They have to get the toss off. They're set up to deal with it. Shots coming in from Spacely. He's going to fall. Saints is there. Not enough time to get a shot off, and OpTic comes back and takes it by 1.
That is going to be agonizing for Luminosity. The quote, so close yet so far, is thrown around a lot, but Luminosity could not have been closer. The final 30 seconds, Clint.
And honestly, I was impressed with Luminosity's ability to deal with. They had 3 down a couple times. You got the pressure for OpTic. You were worried they were going to get the setup. They never really let OpTic get comfortable, get firm control, but OpTic Gaming does just enough. And now I want to toss it over to our analysis. Jack, take it away, buddy. That was a crazy one.
That most certainly was. Awesome to see how LG fought, and that is an example of why that map is one of their stronger ones, as they kept it close, but in the end, OpTic Gaming do what they do best. They clutch up, and it just seems like every scenario they get into, they find a way to make it happen, Revin.
Yeah, of course, it came down to that one moment where OpTic Gaming were able to get that ideal setup going. They forced Luminosity to spawn out over near front apartments. And, you know, I always talk about the decision you make when you find yourself in a position like that. It seemed like Luminosity overall, they were kind of split with what they wanted to do, and it's certainly something that hurt them throughout that map.
Here's what scares me. If Formal is supposed to improve as the weekend goes on, and he's playing this well right now, what is he like on Championship Sunday when this OpTic Gaming team is playing their semifinal, grand final matchup, trying to win this event? What does he drop? 55 on an uplink? Is that how it's going to work?
For me, I don't even want to think about it. From what I'm watching already, and we saw right at the end there, we were like, maybe this is, you know, a 1-point play. We saw, oh, his Formal's just spawned up. Like, he isn't letting anyone get past, and he didn't. So far, so good for Formal, but I do think this team will get better and better as the weekend goes on.
Well, I do believe we have TP ready to break down one of the moments on that map that really swung the advantage into one team's favor over the other. TP, take it away.
Thank you so much, guys. Over here at the Telestrator, once again, going to break down the sort of final seconds, the last play that finally edged OpTic over Luminosity, and that one, good plays from them overall. Let's get this clip rolling right away. Basically, a lot of commotion going down, lots of heat waves, lots of commotion going on in the last couple of seconds. The wrap does go down. You see the drone in Karma's hand, Crim being a lead blocker over there at the top AC on that mini-map. Very important plays going, 24 seconds left. Patience, lots of patience overall. We saw it many times on this map from this OpTic squad, and finally the point does go in on that one. Very great plays from them overall. Great stuff from them. Here to break it down. So what exactly happened to make that last second play happen? Basically, the drone ended up being down right about on this area over here towards the steps. Once they picked it up, they take the long way around. The wrap makes LG rotate all the way back to their base. Over here, all this route around here, over towards AC. Once you get control of that, you have your lead blocker pushing up, which is Crim over here. He gets pushed up to this area to cause some commotion. And as soon as the drone guy gets over to the top AC, you can easily ledge boost off like you saw at the end there. Pop in the easy score from over here into the portal, which is over at that circle. Very great gameplay overall from the guys on OpTic, and that's how you close out a map. Very top tier gameplay. They're able to close out that close map. Once again, we see it from them so many times, and that's why they're the #1 team in the game. That's going to do it for me over here. Back to the couch.
Stunning analysis right there, TP. As you saw how OpTic Gaming were able to get that one done. Alex Richardson, aka Machine, told me to say that.
You do anything Machine tells you to do?
I would. I mean, he's okay. Wow, we're gonna save that one for after the stream. As we continue on through with this series, now we go to a search and destroy, and this is the opportunity for LG. It's gonna be Fringe. It's gonna be search and destroy. They finally don't have to worry about a respawn game mode, but once again, the worry is that you go from 3 S&Ds to 2. This one more important than really any other map we've seen so far.
Yeah, and I don't think this is, we talk about in Europe, like S&D's always the slip map. For OpTic Gaming, like recently, their S&D has, been on par as well with their respawn. So
it's been their best game mode.
Yeah, and it was ridiculous stats, I think, at Anaheim when it was their best game mode, and it was kind of worryingly that if they can do this in S&D, they shouldn't be losing any series.
I mean, just looking at Fringe Search and Destroy in general, like, obviously in the pregame we were hyping up the snipers of Study and Formal, but so far throughout the series, Study's been pretty much like a non-factor so far. I'm not sure if you even trust them to hit the shots at this point.
And this is the Study that's a non-factor. That was arguably one of the best players at Anaheim, which we spoke so much about. As we continue on through, Rapid Fire, High Caliber, both banned. Still Overkill available, as well as the snipers. Wondering if there's a further target of them. It doesn't appear so from OpTic. Okay, so Study, of all people, actually bans out Overkill, going to force whoever tries to snipe to not have that secondary weapon. And you guys, obviously, both played professionally. Talk to me a little bit about how ban and protect. How much would you have liked to have been able to ban out something like an Overkill in previous Call of Duty titles to make sure you could have that secondary weapon?
It was actually banned in most of the previous titles, just like as a base ban. But the thing with Overkill in this matchup specifically is you have more snipers on the side of OpTic Gaming, on the side of Luminosity. It's really only Study. So just banning that out and being able to just limit it. But talking about, the point you brought up earlier about the tackles, yeah, I would have loved to have been able to ban those out in some past titles. It would have been nice.
Search and Destroy as well, right? Glitch from Nameless on the side of OpTic Gaming, all standard specialist abilities. There is the squad. They're up 2-0. Formal is on point with how he's shooting right now. I don't see why you don't just let him have that sniper in his hands and let him play however he wants.
Yeah, at the minute it's just like, Formal, what are you doing? Oh, I fancy a sniper today. Yeah, no problem. We'll work around you. But that's the squad of OpTic. They can work around whichever player. If Scum's on fire, if Crim's just going crazy, like they will adapt. And I'd love to see that sniper brought out. Even though Overkill is taken away, there's definitely still snipers that can be used.
A lot of teams obviously bring out those snipers. Few do it better than the side of Luminosity and OpTic Gaming. When you talk around kind of forming how they play, one guy you want to play around on this map is Saints. 1.57 KD on Fringe S&D, the third highest among NA CWL players. And that obviously is a map. This is a game mode that they've played a lot. That shows he's consistent in it. You need him to go big now more than ever. What is it about how Saints plays this map rather than finds him so much success?
Just decisive. He knows where to position himself as well, just to shut down the incoming pushes from the offensive side. And, he has a big uplink game, so he's got some momentum behind him. Look for him, kind of like how we were talking about Formal, just have him do whatever he wants. Saints has always been that type of player. Just have him roam. Let him do him. Just let him rock. He's going to make the right play. He's going to have a big impact. Just make sure you're there to back him up if he gets in trouble.
I can tell you right now, everybody at home is rooting for a sniper battle between Formal and Study. This map, more than any other, you can find such a heavy sniper presence down that middle map area, down rails, but it's also key to know when to put it away, because a lot of these pushes require all 4 members of your team to break into B, to break into A, to get that objective planted. In your opinion, Momo, is this the map where Luminosity finally take one and give this series a chance to themselves, or is this done?
This, for me, it's not going to be a whitewash, but I will say this going to OpTic. I just feel that I'm not seeing the same LG that I saw at Anaheim. I'm not seeing the same Study. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure he's there somewhere. If he is, bring him out right now. Hey, we need him right now. LG needs him.
We're about to see if LG
map
can
for
get
me,
him.
man.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. A must-win map for LG. Can they get it done? Let's find out.
Great stuff, fellas. Yes, they're going to need a big performance from Saints here. This is, it's a must-win, man. If they go down 3-0, you got to feel like it's going to be lights out. They have to bounce back in this, man.
I see what you did there. Lights out for Luminosity. There's a light.
I got to make sure I change over to the Codcaster. I'm ready to go, baby. I'm back in.
You feeling fresh?
I'm feeling so fresh. A little bit sweaty, though. I think that's the opposite of fresh.
Yeah. I mean, what happens if we combine our names? This is the first time we've been...
Mamavin?
Mav Shiner.
All right, well,
anyway.
they're all awful.
Okay,
but,
I'm ready. Are you ready?
It is going to be offense for Luminosity. We're kicking things off with Saints. We talked about his stellar KD in this particular map and mode. Let's see what these guys can do off the rip.
So we start with 75 seconds thrust onto the clock, and the bomb is starting to maneuver towards tracks. Let's not commit to that, though, just yet, as you will be seeing them maneuver and trying to find this opening pick, draw first blood. Of course, we know how influential that can be, especially here in S&D. I'm a poet, and I didn't know it.
Your way with words. I find it very attractive. I'm going to be honest with you.
Nathan, control yourself.
We're seeing Nameless try to break into the A site. He sees one directly behind the bomb. A couple kills being traded out here. Study able to pick up one with the sniper. Whoa. Going back and forth. He's able to connect there with the grenade. Now it's going to be all on Formal. He's got an M8 in handle of the sniper away for now. You saw Study picking up with the SVG on his end. And now Formal's got to go huge. He's trying to challenge two players looking directly at him. And it will be Luminosity getting on the board first.
Yeah, that was a really nice little cook nade as well. Crim6 gobbled that one up, medium rare. Now we get to see the swap of the sides. We get to see if Luminosity can replicate that success this time on the defense.
Hold on, I need to apply chapstick real quick. I'm good.
Oh, so you're sweaty, you've got dry lips. You're really not selling it to me.
Listen, you know, physically I'm not very good. You know, I don't eat well. The only thing I do right is I drink a good amount of water.
Stay hydrated, that's key.
Outside of that, that's probably why I'm sweating so much. But we will kick things off with Crim6 here for OpTic Gaming, see what they can get done on offense. I want to check Study for a second, just because he's going to go over the top. I want to see if he can find an angle. Saw him for just a moment. Now and it looks like there is going to be counter sniping. Oh, he saw your head.
It's happening.
This is happening. Oh, Study! Hello, friend!
They were saying on the desk, they said they want to see Anaheim Study again. Well, that's one step. And a big step at that. Now, though, we have to wait and see if Study's about to get put to bed. Crim6 is the one to tuck the sheets in, and now we have to see if there's another one to join him. What am I saying?
I love it.
I don't even know what I'm saying.
It's just clever. It makes me happy. But you see there on the X-ray, one in the corner, Scump able to tuck him away. Now there's going to be two left here for the side of Luminosity. Karma looks like he's in the back. You see the number 8 highlighted. He's kind of worried about the flank. All the action going to be mid-street. Pressure should be coming into Crim6 and Scump here shortly.
Let's have a little look how long they can play this after plan. It's looking good so far. 40 seconds left. LG do have the pressure, and they've got the less numbers. Everything pointing towards an OpTic round here, and look at that. Scump does put the first nail in the coffin.
He's about to put the second nail in. He gets tagged up. He's going to back away. There you go. That's smart. You know, sometimes you'll see players challenge that, backs down. I like it.
No greed from Scump. That show, you know, you were suggesting that sometimes they're slow starters. That is OpTic at their very, most restrained.
Oh, this is, I don't want to say surprising to see, because we've seen them come out on day one, which is usually Friday. But obviously, we get a 4-day event here. It's Thursday. But like thinking back to stage 1, TSM, a team that they definitely were superior to. TSM takes them all the way to a game 7. They play them very, very tough, and we've seen OpTic struggle in groups, get second through like a Friday, but now they seem to be coming out. They're pretty hot.
I was loving that lack of greed from Scump. Anyway, not looking to find that third kill, realizing he was tagged up and didn't want to get fragged up. Study though is going to try and go ahead and get to it again. He already eliminated Formal. It's currently 1-0 in this battle of snipers, and all we saw a little glimpse, little poke of the nose from Formal over the top of Barn, but he won't be seeing anything just yet. Does look like just his presence alone is causing them to play differently. We talk about this all the time. The presence of a sniper forcing the defense into a different position. That's what Study's done here.
It's absolutely huge. I'm keeping both of these guys highlighted for the time being.
Oh, hang on, where's that? Is that Spacey? He's just dived into hardware. He could make some progress here.
Well, he gets picked off, and then it's Study connecting, so we are going to be into a 3v3 quickly. The sniper looking hot here for Study early. There is a battle going down with Saints in the back. He's able to find one. He's able to pick up Foremost, so the sniper has been eliminated from the side of OpTic Gaming, and all of a sudden you find Crim6 alone in a 1v3, not able to pick up Saints, and we've got 2 rounds now on the board for the side of Luminosity.
Yeah, they're going to be happy with that one. Luminosity finding their second early on, not getting it kind of choke around on that one for long. You can see Saints got that final kill. Making sure. Am I disappearing for you? I keep hearing myself disappear. Can you still hear me all the time?
I can hear you.
Well, that's good.
I can hear
I was just getting nervous.
Oh, no, don't be nervous. I'll be here to take care of you, buddy.
When I'm around someone as handsome as you, it's easy to get nervous.
I'll be honest, I feel handsome. But, on my left, we actually have the makeup crew, so I think they're telling me that I'm sweating right now. Is that's what's happening? Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, that's because you're experiencing...
I feel like a pig.
You're sweating because of the sexy Call of Duty in front of you.
I am. And that is Study. Instead of opening up with the snipe, it's actually the Prene coming in with a frag. He's able to find Formal off the rip. So when you look at this right now, which is a contested matchup between Study and Formal, what they do, and Study is going off right now. 5-2 on a 3 streak. He's got the advantage over OpTic Gaming currently.
But look at the confidence from Crim6. He's just straight up challenges with the Shiva. He knows there's an SVG staring him down, but he just pokes his nose out with the Shiva and puts another player to bed. Study the only one to go down so far for LG, though. OpTic have a heavy come back to Forge here in this round. It would be Karma. So far, not having a overwhelming performance. He has an opportunity to redeem himself here, though. 45 seconds, he is getting flanked, and this will be the end, as he's going to make his presence known and will be flanked from the side. Saints picks up number 3 for Luminosity.
Well, you're finding yourself in awkward spots here. You had Crimsix in the 1v3 the round before. You find Karma in a 1v3 here. You haven't really had man advantage at all. And a lot of that's been because of Study. He's getting those opening picks, whether it's with a sniper or with a grenade. When you give yourself man advantage in Search and Destroy, you're going to win most of those rounds.
And what's so impressive about Study is that they know he's coming. They know he's going to take that peek. They know he's going to go for these wide angles towards Barn, and yet he's still picking up the kills, and that just show. I mean, look how influential he has been. 5 for him, 5 for Saints, and Spacely hasn't even necessarily made any impact yet. 0 to 3. He's been throwing his body towards hardware, and so far has not been able to build anything. There's a slight hardware joke there, I'm not sure.
I liked it. I like it. Like a Home Depot, but you probably don't know what that is. I don't think Home Depot's in Germany.
We have Home Base. That's our
Home Base.
That's our home.
That's awful. But now we'll see you. You see Study watching any kind of jump up over there from Yard. Let's check out Saints, because he's been a man getting a whole lot done, and Krim has been dominant with this Shiva. He's able to find his 5th. Really, he's the only one getting anything going for the side of OpTic Gaming. He's got more kills than the rest of his teammates combined. They've got to turn it on here if they're going to have a chance against Luminosity in this Search and Destroy.
Wow, that's some quick maths. I see what you did there. You actually added up all of those numbers.
Yeah, I was good at math.
Very,
you know? Yeah, in high school, very good, very solid mathematician.
Terrified of doing math, but I can do this one. 40 seconds left on the clock. I can read those 2 numbers, and now we do have to see the pressure starting to mount for LG. They are the ones that have to get the bomb down. They have to make the plays, and Formal's going to shut down another Saints. That's 2 limbs gone for LG. I don't know why I've described him as a 4-limb beast, whatever it is. Formal, though, is just mowing him down, and now we see Spacely locked in middle. 25 seconds and not a chance in hell. Karma's the one to take his life away, and we see 3-2.
Yeah, that was a big hold from Formal there at back rock. He's put the snipe away for now, but you saw him shut down 2 players pushing down tracks. And you know, you heard Revan talking about this a bit earlier. You like to see teams pull out smokes there. Smoke off that angle so he can't shut you down when you're pushing towards the B site. Without a smoke and an accurate AR like Formal, he's going to cut you down every time.
Yeah, and Formal's terrifying. I mean, especially when you put him in these head glitch positions, these power positions, he is just a force to be reckoned with. And you're going to see people scared to challenge even with snipers. It's just something that you'll even see Saints, or Study, just kind of shying away from because they know the man behind that assault rifle.
And we just talked about it. I think that was, I believe that was a smoke out. Yes, it was. So they decided to smoke out, maybe think they were going to be going towards B, but all the pressure goes into A, and they just get shut down. As soon as Krim pokes in, he's going to drop. Formal pushes in. Wow. He's shut down. It's a 1v4 early. You're getting tagged up. 4 up, 4 down. It's all LG, baby.
Luminosity laying down the law. They just created a little fort and laughed OpTic away, turned them away, and that will be another. That's 4. They're closing in on 6.
Think about this. Outside of the game 1, you have a 1-point game 2.
Yeah.
If Luminosity rolls here, I mean, you're thinking, I mean, this could very easily be a 2-1 advantage in this series for Luminosity. They're playing OpTic very tough right now.
Right. I mean, if you tuned in, you saw 2-0 OpTic, you'd be like, oh, okay, I'll be back, when it's 4-0. But actually, realistically, Luminosity are sticking it to OpTic, albeit perhaps not on the hard point, but in towards our uplink, and now here in S&D, they are looking like a team to be reckoned with, and that defense, that was just testament to how good they can look here on Search and Destroy. Study will not be making too much of an impact with his sniper or his nade, as Flak Jacket does save an OpTic member's life. But now, though, he dives through. Look at this from Saint, straight towards Junkyard, and Nameless has put a nade right onto the skull of Crimsix. He's gone. However, it is a trading game, and it's Wall Street for OpTic at the moment. Karma takes down Spacely, and now Nameless is going hunting. He has the bomb. This feels like a risk. Never mind. With the L-car takes down Karma, and now the advantage is firmly in LG's grasp.
And now it's an opportunity here for Formal to clutch the 1v2. Not going to check his left there at L-Wall, and he gets cut down. Luminosity 1 round away. And, you know, they weren't joking. I mean, during all of Stage 1, by far the respawns were the best for OpTic Gaming. They're probably the best hardpoint team, best uplink team. Their best game mode statistically has been Search and Destroy over the course of Stage 2, and they are getting just mollywopped right now by the side of Luminosity.
Now this is a lead you cannot throw away. Luminosity have got an abundance of match points now, and should they concede this is where your hopes and dreams are gone.
I'm gonna bring up a point. Now there were different players on Luminosity. I think half the roster was there, but during Stage 1 they had a 5-1 advantage on Fringe and Search to Destroy. OpTic came back and took the map.
Well, that, my friends, is not going to happen again. Luminosity cannot afford to make these mistakes, and they certainly will not be looking to do so now. Already they have drawn a little bit of first blood. Spacey's got another one. He's trying to get them to 6 already, but Crimsix does, with just 1 bullet from the Shiva, make things difficult. It is going to be a 2 versus 1, though. Crimsix has to clutch to keep OpTic in the game. He gets the first. That's 2 in this round alone. Now he has to find the 3rd, and he's going for the jump shot. Crimsix,
Study has the sniper, dude. He has the camo. He has the camo. How does he have to play this? He has a sub in hand. He's going to dive out mid-street. He finds him, and he's going to get cut down with camo with the RK5. Why did Study look like a lost puppy?
Crimsix to him it looked like he just disappeared. Crimsix didn't go anywhere. You can see he actually got a little bit of info. He saw the active camo, saw the little shimmer, and will keep
You
OpTic
should
in
never
this game.
win that.
ever. If he's got active camo, he is nigh invisible.
And the VMP there, like, Lord God, you got to finish that up. Now, is that the beginning of the end?
Stop. You stop this.
Listen,
stop right now.
I'm a historical man, and it's happened historically, and I mean that because I'm old.
They've learned from their mistakes. There you go. I'm going to turn it around. They've conceded this before. They're not going to do the same thing again. Crimsix keeps OpTic in the running. 9 frags for him so far here in this tournament. Saints not far away from the other side of things. 8 for him.
And Saints getting very, very close to this kinetic armor. That can be one that can seal the deal. If he doesn't get it this round off of a kill, he certainly will have it next time around. Like, the man we may want to watch if they end up pushing B. You know, Formal was kind of a one-man wall here when they tried to push through late a couple rounds ago. Now he's going to have another opportunity. Study opens things up. Formal trying to answer back. The glitch comes in. He's going to get caught out. They may try to push him. He tries to get out with his life. He's able to do so, but now you have a 2v4. So much to do. He's tagged up. He's gone. It's Scumpy for the 1v4. He's able to find one. Can he get around the edge? Not able to do it. And Luminosity takes game 3 with a scoreline of 6-3.
You a non-believer, Maven. You're a non-believer. No. Faith in the green wall. This time not enough to muster a defender and a comeback versus Luminosity, and that will be much needed, especially after that close-up blink. That's so important.
Just getting a map on the board. You know, you taught yourself in the game, too, that you can play them tough. Now you showed yourself that you can take a map. Now it's the rest of the best of 7 that's all going to come down to. But to break down that epic S&D on Fringe, we'll toss things back to Jack and the boys.
I'm hyped, man. We got a series ahead of us now. We're going to go into that game 4. OpTic just up 2-1. And then capture the flag. That is that back-and-forth game mode in the North American Pro Division. It's more 50-50 than anything. There wasn't a team that really stood out and was far and above anybody else. So this next game can also go either way. But first, let's look back at the Search and Destroy. How many first bloods does Study get in that game? I mean, he's the difference maker.
I think overall, that was just a big map for Study in general. We talked about his performance in the first 2 game modes. Wasn't really there, so now just getting some of that confidence back and just earning the trust of his teammates once again. I feel like that was a good map for Study, I guess, just to have a big performance on.
Now we're going to get a little bit more into this later on, but first, I know Teep, he's raring to go on the telestrator. Buddy, take it away.
Thank you so much, Jack. So, going to be breaking down a very crucial round, in my opinion, from LG early in this Search and Destroy map. We talk a lot about on analysis about being decisive when you have numbers in round. Let's get into this clip so I can explain a little bit of how decisive they were. So, early on in the round, a grenade goes out and catches a player towards that L wall. That's very, very important, getting that first blood. And look at the 2 players that are going to hit up towards that tracks. Very important stuff to do early in our round. Take a crucial map control. Study catches 1 player rotating back over to the L wall again. So 2 kills over towards L. Players push up very, very quickly. Numbers 1 and 2 on the minimap right there. Crim gets caught once again and end up taking the round a little bit later into this one. Now Karma is stuck in this one, and what do you see LG do? The best thing to do when you have numbers in a situation like this is group up, and they do it perfectly. They end up finding where Karma is on the map, taking him out from behind. He has no chance in this sort of clutch situation. Very, very good stuff from LG in that round. So, what really happened to open up this one? A frag early, caught a first blood over towards the L wall. Very, very important to get a first blood there, so a frag grenade picks up a player on that one. Next, Study. Very, very patient up there at the top barn, looking over that middle map, make sure no one can get into that sort of bricks. He ends up getting a snipe over there towards L again. Catches a player crossing. Then, 2 players over there from LG end up pushing up towards the tracks, double pushing here, and catch a player, which was Crim again. When you're able to get those numbers, you get that advantage early into those rounds. And what can OpTic really do from then on? Karma's stuck in a situation where he ends up wrapping over here towards the back barn. All the 3 players from LG group up, take him out. Very, very solid stuff and decisive gameplay from them. That's going to do it for me. Very decisive gameplay from LG, bringing it back in the series. That's going to do it for me over here. Back to the analysis.
LG, man, they made some great plays in the rounds to give them that game victory. Let's dive back into it a little bit more because you heard some great stuff from Teep. But one thing that really impressed me from the side of LG was the fact that when they got a number advantage, they just closed out the rounds. They didn't let OpTic Gaming get in one-on-ones. The one round that really stood out to me was actually where Crim wins it with the camo. It was the one awkward one, but Study 99 out of 100 times wins that engagement. There it doesn't work out, but how many times did they trade inside that little room?
Yeah, the trades were on point for LG, and I think that's what kind of closed out from Search and Destroy. It's all about trading. And realistically, that round that did go to OpTic from Crim clutching up against camo, he shouldn't have won that one. You know, that camo wasn't utilized. It could have been even worse for OpTic.
Now, I do want to quickly mention that before we get this ban and protect for game 4, You can go right now and vote for your Scuff Gaming Team of the Day. There's a look at how to get it done. Go at COD World League, at Scuff Gaming. Let them know your thoughts on who you think should take it. So far, from what you've seen, do you guys have any selections for yourselves?
John, for sure.
Well, oh, I guess, yeah, we're doing like that. I was thinking like overall team, but no, that's definitely the correct way to do it. I'm like, oh, Splice. Splice is my team of the day. But no, it's individual players, so John is correct. That's one. Do you have somebody?
I was going to say, depending on how this finishes, I think Formal very well could get in there. But Tommy from Millennium. Splice, though, really kind of played a really good kind of team game, I think. It's hard to pick one out of them, but Josh played very, very well for Splice.
Most certainly did, and that's the team that we do every single week in the COD World League. Pick your 4 players, send them in, make your voices heard. We will be getting into Game 4, the CTF, quite soon. Let's talk about what we've seen so far in the last 3 maps, though, because there's a lot to learn from this series. Game 1 was OpTic Gaming. Even at the start, it was like, I think it was like 90 to 70. And then I don't know where they kicked it into gear, and that's where it really got out of hand quick. They win that one like 250 to 110 or something along those lines. Then game 2 in the uplink, close down to the wire, 11 to 10. I think they win it in the final moments. That's a map that LG, they're looking back on it saying, we could very well be up 2-1 in this series right now, Revin.
And if they play Breach Hardpoint like they usually do, at least throughout Stage 2, maybe we get a more competitive map in Game 1. But, I mean, this is one going into this. I thought Luminosity would be able to keep most of the games pretty competitive, pretty close, as it looks like we're gearing up to enter the Bans and Protects here. And just speaking about Stronghold CTF a little bit more, I feel like this is one where OpTic Gaming are going to be the ones to maybe to ban out stuff like the smoke grenades and just take away stuff that could add some variance into the game.
Listen, LG are down 2-1, but they are definitely not out of this series yet. They got the S&D map they needed. They won it quite strongly. Now, what they can fall back on is if that goes to a Game 7. They will always have that in the back of their heads. They've already beaten OpTic Gaming and S&D once. Granted, OpTic Gaming and Search and Destroy Game 7 are just a completely different beast. Momo, anything you expect to see on the Stronghold CTF and the Bad Protect?
Stronghold CTF, I'm waiting for that smoke grenade. Like, it's creeping up. 4 have gone already. Camo, Overdrive is still in, which I would expect to go. Rapid Fire as well. Like, those are my last 3.
Well, there's the Overdrive ban.
Yeah.
Rapid Fire still in, HCXD still in. Maybe you go after the Shiva after seeing what Crim just did to them with that weapon. There's Rapid Fire ban. It's going to be up to Crim to round things out. It's going to be an HC, so Shiva makes it through. Smoke grenades also make it through. And smoke grenades have great synergy with a specialist ability like Vision Pulse.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the smoke because the other games, they've been taken away. We've not had the privilege of seeing someone running, double smoke. So I think we saw it last time. But I think when you were talking to TP, saying this objective player, surely, you run those smokes. Like for me, if I can run 2 smokes, a Vision Pulse, just make them feel really awkward behind that back rock, behind that back car, and make them come out and play.
It's like creating your own pathway to the flag, right? You just throw 2 smoke grenades. It's just instant cover you can utilize, block off the lines of sight from the defending players, walk through the smoke, pick up the flag, walk back through the smoke, and get away with your life.
Any tactic you can use to get that flag out is useful on a map like Stronghold. Heatwave, Tempest, Scythe, Kinetic Armor from Luminosity. Heatwave, Scythe, Kinetic Armor, and Tempest from OpTic Gaming. It's a mirror matchup, and it makes a lot of sense. No active camo or overdrive. You definitely want to have Kinetic Armor and Heatwave. There is the Luminosity Gaming squad. You had Study go big in S&D. Finally, his presence was felt. And what happens because of it? They win the map. I'm going to quickly bring up something that might be surprising to people at home. This is a historically bad map for OpTic Gaming in Stage 2. A .73 Team KD, lowest of the 8 NA Stage 2 finals teams. This is a map they've struggled on a lot, and again, it's what LG can capitalize on.
We said the same thing about Breach Hardpoint, though.
We did. Right. I'm just bringing it up again.
I mean, yeah, the stats are there. We might as well talk about it. Historically, yeah, OpTic Gaming have struggled on this map, and, it goes all the way back to Stage 1. Remember when they dropped the first series ever in their kind of CWL life against DT on this map?
During the 500 series this past weekend, I believe when they faced Cloud9 in the grand finals, they lost the Stronghold CTF to be eliminated from that tournament as well. If you're Luminosity, what's the pace you're going with, Momo? How do you want to see them play this?
I'd like to see them play their own game. Sometimes people talk about, try and counter teams, and yes, OpTic are a team that, you would try and target an individual. But I want to see, and we've not really talked about him too much, Nameless. I remember, I've been watching Nameless for years now, and he was always such a solid player. He controlled the map. And I'd like him to take a bit more control. We've seen Formal doing his thing. So I'd like to see him as a presence more on this map and just play the game his way.
Adding on to his point, did Man of War make it through?
I do believe it did. So
Well, there you go. It's something that could help out Nameless.
it definitely could. Let's see if it works out for him here. It's game number 4, Stronghold CTF.
Well, if OpTic Gaming showed us anything in game 1, screw the stats. They blew the doors off of Luminosity in that one. But yeah, you know, we talk about it. This has been a map we've seen them lose on. And when we pointed out, it's not to say they're like a bad team there. It's just you're so used to seeing OpTic Gaming win on everything. You start to notice trends when they suffer with a particular map. But
so I've got a problem
they
with
defy
this one.
logic, man.
This is Stronghold CTF, which in Europe has been sometimes a little bit of a Z-fest. I mean, I genuinely might have fallen asleep on one occasion casting this map and game type
I
combination.
casted a full 38-minute game one time.
Me too.
Like
every time I complain, every time I say, "Oh my God, this is so dull," they say, "Wait and watch North America. They do it differently. It wouldn't work. What Europe does would not work in North America." Now, for the first time, I get to not only cast, I get to cast it with my new favorite human being.
Let's do it, buddy.
Okay, I'm standing up.
Yeah, I like to get on my feet, you know, stretch
nice,
out
yeah.
as a former Olympic athlete. But now we will kick things off with Scump. But yeah, you don't usually see 3-man pushes. It's usually 4 men. They play together, they apply pressure, and now they're getting inside a bunker quickly. They're looking to fly in. 2 players going to be coming out. Ooh. Smokes out. Not able to win the first gunfight as they're going to be caught with the smokes. It looks like Crim's been back down for now and Push, but able to win it.
Solid work so far, but nothing too much of merit. You're just going to be seeing people picking up these early first bloods, trying to make an impact. Is Crim6, who's already done damage. That study gone, and trying to further his progress towards Statue. He's going to encounter some problems unless Karma shows up. He will get the trade with the RK5, but not much more. In fact, he's been tagged for his efforts. He'll be waiting for regen here in Kitchen. Trying to cook up something special. We'll see.
That's the big thing here for your North American teams, getting 4 people up aggressively and flying at you. So you don't play like a EU where a lot of your pushes are kind of a 3v4 because you have a man back at home. It is going to be 4-man attacks coming in from OpTic. They're able to scream through, and now Scump's going to have the flag. They're out. It's going to be on Crim6 to get the overextension. He's not able to do so. It's then going to fly to Karma. Karma's got to get to half ball, try to look for kills. He saw one. He's able to win that. Scump going to be coming through back satellite. Can they get it through?
Yeah, beautiful stuff from Formal. That frag onto Nameless does guarantee the flag cap, and that will be numero uno for OpTic Gaming. Solid start so far. And that was just that 4-man push. They just threw bodies at the flag, and it did work out in the end. LG, despite having the access through bunker, did get cut down to size. It felt like OpTic had, you know, a rocket in their pocket, just blasted straight back down the map, catching that rotation
And
off.
you could probably already see a little bit of a difference versus the EU style. They're going to fly 4 men at you.
Previously, I've casted, and someone has had 1 interaction at the end of a half.
Yeah, you're not going to have that very frequently here. They're going to get at you, get up in your face. Sure, it'll slow down at times, but the pressure will continue to come here for OpTic. They're looking for kills. Nice long-range VMP burst coming in from Crim6. Going to find one more up top. Top Lambo, not able to find that. Now 1 alive for either side.
Yeah, that was never going to happen. Nameless too damn good with the Man of War. Haven't seen too much of the Man of War cropping up so far today, so good to see that AR getting his time in the limelight. Everything seems to be getting its turn, and now Scump's turn to start delivering. He does get the first with the VMP, not going to get the second, just the tag space does hit the deck and put a bullet into his brain. So 240 on the clock, and what the 1 bomb? Formal takes down Study, and now they have
not
freedom.
fair. That's just not fair. Hitting somebody at 50 yards like that with a 1 burst, 3 down, make it 4. This is a gimme. Should be a cap. As long as Scump can rotate over and get the overextension, they should have it locked down. They're going to come flying out of bunker. Actually, it looks like they might just give this up. Yeah, they're just going to get up.
Watching a replay. Cap. Almost exactly the same play, the same players as well. This time it's Scump who's just ready to catch them on the exit out of bunker. They've got some solid communication, some solid synergy, and OpTic are looking at, you know, heads and shoulders above Luminosity so far.
And this is the stronger side, especially, you know, with the North American playstyle. This is where you're going to look to get a multi-cap lead, really start to get something going. So Luminosity is going to have their chance.
But my question to you is, how is OpTic getting so much control? Look at Scump. He's running around like it's his own defensive base. Well, how is he just walking out of bunker every time?
For me, the main thing is they've had so much control inside of Mansion. They've won all the gunfights there where it's basically been their home. They've set up shop inside of Mansion that they've forced the defense of Luminosity to worry about it so much, they've kind of forgotten about bunker at times.
The fact that Scump, like every time we cut to him, he's just either up in their grill, somehow just applying pressure towards Statue, or he's doing that defensive work. He's everywhere. He is a rash here on Stronghold. Currently, though, running out of time for Luminosity to make an impact. Admittedly, it is on the more favoured side for the Green Wall currently, and this is their attempt on a bit of an offence. Just 1 man left, though. It will be Spacely, and he is indeed going to be flying closer and closer to space.
You usually don't see a ton of offense from this side unless there's a counter opportunity. It's just a lot harder to get that pull through rocks. There's so many safe positions behind the flags with regards to spawns. A little bit easier to influence pushing towards Mansion, so we'll see how it goes on the flip.
It's refreshing to see Karma actually top of the scoreboard as well. I said already he's been having a, well, I say quiet game. He hasn't been necessary. You know, he can just pull his weight and be the solid backbone. But this time OpTic have got Karma showing up and showing up in a big way.
He's the guy that, you know, if you get a slower game out of Scump and Formal at times, he's the first man to step up, be the X factor, and have that big performance. And a guy that's competed in CTF for a long time, one of the better CTF players historically, a lot of experience with it, and you're seeing the veteran leadership come in here.
Yeah, he's looking great. Scump, however, you said he's having a slow one. Not really. I mean, you saw just this solid defensive work with the VMP. He hasn't been needed in the offense just yet, and now we do see Karma. He is going to take a hit. Nameless gets it, but with just 39 seconds left, I'm not sure LG can actually build something up here. They have control of the flag, but look at OpTic. They're just going to sit there, create quite literally a wall across Stronghold, and not let LG pass.
Look at what they have to run through right now. If they can get past this first two-man burst, you have an opportunity to do so, but it's going to be Formal coming in with the side. All four dropping, and this actually may end up being a counter cap. All four down. As long as he can get there in time, this is a guaranteed cap. They're not going to spawn in time to really deal with it. You're already going to have Karma set up here. He has the heat wave. Look, they're all running back to the base. They just gave it up. Scump's going to have a third cap.
Buckets of time. Scump's going to be picking this one up. And I mean, like, that's just a nightmare situation for LG. They have one shot, you know, to get forward and actually make a little bit of an impact here on the scoreboard of the first half here in CTF. And OpTic do one better. Not only do they thwart their efforts, they managed to go ahead and get a third. That's a big start for OpTic here in the first half.
Oh, yeah, it was massive. And I mean, you had really just a good, well-rounded slaying effort. You know, we saw Envy blow open the doors, I think with 6-0 or something crazy we saw earlier today, where you had J-Cap dropping like a 30 and 12 or whatever absurd numbers he had. So far, just pretty steady from the side of OpTic Gaming. Everyone getting a strong performance. The one thing that you feel good about for Luminosity, and there's not much, you have no streaks, I believe, for any of OpTic Gaming. So you at least didn't allow them to start building streaks on you.
Okay, so that is positive.
That's
however,
the only positive.
Yeah, I mean, that is the slightest of silver linings you can find, as currently things are going very well for OpTic. A 3-0 lead. This 5 minutes is going to have to be crazy from Luminosity to be able to overcome this. Trying to find their third now in this best of 7.
Yeah, they basically need to get a score in the opening 60 to 90 seconds. They've already got 2 down. They're pushing forward. They have to start to get control here, but with one drying at Fire Pit, it's going to be slowed down probably for the moment.
I mean, he does have Kinetic, but the temper's just come out from Crimsix, which, of course, with the new change, does mean Kinetic Armor is going to be that one-shot kill. Doesn't look like he's going to be using it just yet. Instead, though, Crimsix just holds the fort, and this is going to be a problem. Like, LG, it feels like they're playing scared of OpTic. Am I making that up? I mean, it does feel like they're almost intimidated by this defense and actually just coming in one by one at this point.
Oh, I think the big thing is they just got dominated so much on the first side that, yeah, it probably makes you question yourself a little bit, maybe destroy some of the confidence they felt coming in from the search and destroy, but they've got to find a way to turn it on. But it's 3 down now for Luminosity. The pressure going to start to build forward here for OpTic Gaming. Krem's already got the mid cut off. He's going to start pushing towards Satellite. I talked about no streaks. He's already got the Lightning. May get the Hellstorm as he just destroys Spacely. Can't have that happen, and now he's 50 off the Cerberus.
You just can't do that, Spacely. You have to get that kill 100% of the time, and now problems are going to start to arise. He's 50 away from the Cerberus, from no streaks to all 3 potentially here. And he looks like Crimsix is hunting this one down. He knows it's going to be one towards Rock. It's not an easy duel for him to win. In fact, it's a duel he should never win. But we saw what happened to Spacely.
Let's see if Krem can keep the magic going. He gets the Cerberus plus the Hellstorm Lightning. I mean, you kind of put this game out of reach when you already have the 3-0 advantage. He's playing it slow. He wants Scump to maybe initiate something. And he just really needs an assist, a kill, anything at this point. Doesn't want to be the guy to be trying to push him, but he's on an 8 streak right now, man. 15 and 7. So when this streak started, he was basically even. And now he's just gone off. He's got the pull. He's got fully streaked out. And if he wins this one-on-one, maybe a cap, he's able to win that. 2 more tracing. Can he get around the edge? Not able to do so, but the damage has been done by Crimsix.
That was almost an example of like entirely solo cap. He got the kill with the Lightning, gets the kill with the VMP, and almost runs that flag home. One man stood in his way, and it was just a little too much. Still, we're halfway through our second half here in our 4th map. And so far, it doesn't look like Luminosity making an impact. We did say it's going to be a very tough objective to overcome, and it's not really have seen too much of an impact, not too much of an objective-based play from Luminosity yet.
This may actually be the most dominating map we've had thus far. I know the game 1 was pretty lopsided towards the side of OpTic. The S&D obviously completely controlled by Luminosity as they got out to a 5-2 advantage. But this one, I mean, you haven't seen, that's 4 down. You haven't even really seen that good of a scoring opportunity from the side of Luminosity.
But now they're forced once again into the defensive stance. They have to hold up their fists and prepare for the bludgeoning attack that is going to be OpTic Gaming. 4 of them. Look at that little tickle from Karma with the M8, just keeping them on their toes. See how far that gets.
They're plus 25 right now for the side of OpTic Gaming. Like, this has been brutal to see for the side of Luminosity. I mean, they're having their way in their base. Scump is now going to have flag out. It's going to be Karma that's going to be leading the way in front. He already picks up the kill with the M8. You've got a free run here for Scumpy. They're going to have to pick it up on the overextension as they're coming through bunker, but they actually wrap back to mid-map. It's going to be Formal with something to deal with. He has his buddy, the Cerberus, with him, and that's going to be cap number 4.
Yeah, this is going to be disheartening from Luminosity. From straight up winning a map versus OpTic to then conceding such a one-sided, lopsided, another way to describe it.
Apparently, if we show any statistics that are negative for OpTic Gaming in a game mode from the online league, come out and just demolish their opponent. This has been some impressive one-sided stuff.
Yeah, and the thing is they haven't even had to use their streaks. Look at this, 3 of them glowing golden. Scump had Kinetic with the flag, didn't need to use it, even when Saints applied pressure. You can see there's a Tempest available. Crim, he's made impact in the past.
just hunting at bottom mansion. What are you looking for down there, bud? The couch?
Who's this now? Space is going to have to try and make an impact towards Elbend, and he's just got no time. 60 seconds. Luminosity know this is done and dusted, and it's just going to be disheartening to watch these final 60 tick away. OpTic 4-0. I mean, you're right. It's not been as crazy as that Envious game here on this very map, but so far it just... at no point did I believe LG were going to come back into this one.
You never did. And, you know, the slaying controlled, it was the opposite. You know, usually you look at kind of Formal and Scump for the big slaying. It's Crim and Karma getting it done here, and that's what makes them such a lethal team. Everybody can get it done, and look at what Scump has been able to do objectively. He has 3 out of their 4 caps. You know, you saw he was like a rash. He was just in their base at all times.
Is that out of character from Scump, or is he usually missed?
No. I mean, he can certainly do this on a game mode like CTF, because he's the aggressive SMG. He's going to be the first one in, first point of contact. If he's able to win a gunfight, a lot of the times he's going to be one pulling the flag. But just impressive all-around performance here from OpTic Gaming. Unfortunately, I mean, I was trying to look for positives, trying to watch the pushes from Luminosity. They just never really came.
Not really, and that's just 10 seconds left then. It will be OpTic Gaming picking up Capture the Flag here on Stronghold. A walk in the park for the Green Wall, and that puts them just 1 away from winning this best of 7. Number 3 has been secured by OpTic Gaming.
And they made that one look breezy. Games 1 and 4 have been all OpTic. Now the question is, you feel good about S&D for Luminosity, sure. The question is, can you actually get there? You're going to have to go through another hard point, which you got crushed in. You have a chance at Uplink Breach for sure. You played them tough on eBack, but it is a big mountain to climb here for the side of OpTic Gaming. But to break down that just crushing defeat for Luminosity, we'll toss it back to the couch.
Yeah, they didn't even look like they were in the same league right there as OpTic Gaming. And well, we brought up stats on how OpTic Gaming have struggled in this in the past. There, they go positive 33 in CTF, one of the biggest slaying differences I've ever seen in the COD World League. And not only do they win that map, but they absolutely dominate it.
I'm not used to a team in Europe getting 33 kills in CTF. So
as a unit.
So to get positive 33 is ridiculous. But great to see some North American versus North American CTF for myself.
Which playstyle you like better?
I mean, I stayed awake during this one, which is a positive. But no, the aggressiveness of OpTic and the amount of kills they can pick up and just their solo flag plays, Machine and Maven were saying, like, sometimes they were doing it on their own. Scump in particular, doing some crazy things. I'm sure we'll hear more of that throughout the weekend, but ridiculous.
They are the kings of individual play. That CTF had a lot of big moments. TP, going to talk about one of them now.
Here we go, back at the telestrator. Going to break down a very, very crucial play that broke open this game for OpTic Gaming. We talk about all the individual plays, but this play, let's start it up. Let's break it down how the team play was so good for OpTic to get this first score on the board. So to start off on this one, it really shows how much just waiting a few seconds can do. Karma is here, he's weak at kitchen, and he's getting the call out from his teammates. They're waiting for Crim to spawn. As soon as Crim spawns up, there it is. Karma is able to peek out, pick up another kill. Formal's breaking up towards middle, and here the rush goes. They have the numbers. The smoke pops out on the flag, and the last couple of players on LG have no chance. It's 3 versus 2 at the base. Crim's the last one off spawn, and they end up taking this back towards their own goal. Crim picks up the OE, and it's straightforward from then on. Very, very straightforward. It's very difficult to get a flag out on this map, and they did a very good job of it. Players get taken out, and they just flood up and take control of the map from then on. So to break off exactly what happened on this one on Stronghold, very, very positive gameplay overall. Karma opened it up at the door here and backed up towards kitchen. He was just locking down that position, waiting for his teammates to spawn up while they could set up another push. Meanwhile, Formal was over towards middle square right there, and here they set up a sort of pinch. So basically, Karma waited for the Q that Crim spawned. As soon as he got that, he peeks out here, gets the kill, and pushes. Scumps at top mansion, pushes up here. Formal gets the kill here and pushes up there. It's just easy math from then on. It's 3 versus 2 at the base. The last couple of players from LG are going to be right here and right here. Off spawn, and they're going to be forced to OE once the flag is out. The last player, which is Crim, spawns up back here, holds the OE. That didn't change color, my fault. Red X right there, that's Crim. He holds the OE, and it's very straightforward from then on. The flag goes out from there, and it's easy score all the way home. Very, very quality stuff from OpTic Gaming to break that one open and completely using their pressure to make it even a more lopsided fair. That's going to do it for me over here. Back over to analysis.
Thank you, Deep. OpTic gaming fans have to feel very comfortable right now because you think, yes, they've dropped a map this series, but they have 2 more respawns now to play. The first one going to be a Fringe Hardpoint, then another uplink. I think this series is done here.
I mean, look, throughout that last game, once again, you have a lack of slaying on the Luminosity side, which you can't do against a slay-heavy team like OpTic Gaming. I mean, that is their main strategy when approaching a respawn game mode, is just to outslay the other team by such a massive margin that really anybody could just put themselves inside the hard point or run the drone forward for an easy score. It's very easy to do so when the other team is in a kill cam for the majority of the game.
And actually, Luminosity are the ones that banned both high caliber and rapid fire back-to-back off the start of this ban and protect, not giving them many options to maybe go a little bit more unique, a little bit outside the ordinary. They're just playing straight up. The last hardpoint they played straight up, it was ugly. They're going to do it again here, it appears.
And it's not Breach this time. It's Fringe. Now, you guys will know more than me, obviously, about OpTic and about, how they play. Breach, definitely not something they favor. Fringe, I think, could play, into the likes of Formal's hands.
Scott probably has no idea what to ban out right now just because they've done everything for him. He's like, okay, I might as well take out a Heat Wave. But,
yeah.
I mean, that ban and protect, in my opinion, heavily favors OpTic Gaming. You leave the Shiva still in play if Krim wants to bring it out. The M8 is still in play from Formal. They didn't really do anything to try to limit or hurt the guys on OpTic Gaming.
We'll go ahead and keep on through with the specialist draft. Formal with Scythe, Nameless with Scythe, Study with the Tempest. Already a 2-2 or 2-weapon setup for Luminosity. You'd expect it to be 2-2 from here. As we wait for Crim6 to make his selection, there is Psychosis. One thing he's used more in Stage 2 than ever before. I think that's really the story a lot of times. And let me ask you, Momo, was that the same feeling about Psychosis in Europe, where it wasn't really used off the start, but now it's kind of coming more to light?
It seems to be coming in more and more, and as much as a lot of us guys on the couch, the desk, we don't agree with it, all the pro players seem to be doing that. The good thing is it's got kind of a fast regen, and you can kind of just use it to... You can use it in so many situations, whether you're defending a hill, whether you're trying to break in, and it's just a bit of randomness that gives you kind of that little bit more of a percentage of winning a gunfight or something like that.
You get that fraction of a distraction,
yeah.
That little tiny bit, and it could be enough for your team. There's the OpTic Gaming squad. They're up 3-1. They want to take this victory and move on to the semifinals. There's a look at Scump, though. He has the highest score per minute on Fringe Hardpoint at 536. An absolutely insane stat. Ridiculous number to see.
I mean, that's a lot of score per minute, man. Normally when I'm playing public matches on Nuketown, that's the type of SPM I get. So the fact that he's getting it at the pro level on a map like Fringe Hardpoint, you take into account that he's of course, an SMG role inside the Hardpoint. Sure, it helps him out, but it's tough to get going as SMG on this map.
Oh, I've seen Scump stats in pubs. When he's playing for Fringe, for Nuketown, he's getting 800, 900 score per minute. I've never even...
That's unfair.
I don't even think I've gotten 100 score per minute.
Yeah, that is unfair. And 536 it was there. That is, like Revan said, something you expect in pubs or something. But he's not even just doing it against random players. He's doing it against the best of the best throughout the whole stage 2.
With a submachine gun as well in a game mode like CTF. What makes Scump so good, in your opinion, at this map, Revan?
I mean, look, when you're looking at Fringe Hardpoint, just looking at the first Hardpoint, that's one I always talk about, knowing where to position yourself and how to use the obstacles and the surroundings around you to the best of the advantage. It also helps that you have guys like Formal looking over you, so you could trust your teammates to, maybe watch your back or look over you, protect you when you're inside the Hardpoint. He just knows how to pick and choose his engagements and where to play on the map.
Momo, in your opinion, does this Luminosity team force the series to go on any longer, or is it here?
I think this is where it ends, unfortunately, for LG. They have been a great team. It's kind of unfortunate that they come straight against OpTic Gaming, but it's the way that it works out sometimes. I'm going to have to go with OG this time.
All right, we'll go ahead and get into the action. It's going to be our Game 5 Fringe Hardpoint.
Well, we'll see what we get. We've had tight matches. We've had some blowouts here. Can Luminosity make this a lot closer than the game on Hardpoint's kind of the question.
Can we just address how much of a jam that ban and protect music is?
You and I, when it's going on,
it gets my adrenaline pumping. It makes me want to kind of
That's actually probably why I'm up here sweating, because you and I are just dancing the whole time. I look like a
He's
Gumby.
sweating because things are heating up.
It is. They are heating up. And now it is time for Game 5. Is OpTic Gaming able to close things out here? I like this music, too.
I don't know how you... Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, it's got a bit of...
Need like a disco ball.
Oh, I feel like we're about to drop some kind of fiery rap.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I don't know that I know how to rap. I can talk fast while I cast. It's sort of similar. But, we spent a lot of time with OpTic during the CTF as they were kind of dominating, right?
Sure.
Let's start off with Luminosity, see what they can do off the rip. It looks like most likely Going to be Saints kind of pushing forward to try and get behind on the flank. He's able to win one. Teammate finding one as well. Can they turn this into points?
Okay, so we start then in that central area. Let's not forget this is the map where we did see, of course, Luminosity find that one map win in this series.
Can
We'll
this
see
be
if they
their
can
magic
replicate.
map, right?
Maybe it's Luminosity known best for their performance on Fringe. We'll find out. Still, Study is going to catch Formal in towards Barn. Won't be doing much more harm. And now we do see, once again, Study having no trouble with that. One bomb straight away. Nade's going to be landing, but he's going to be able to evade that one with ease. He's got 2 players hunting him down now. Just an arcade 5 to his name. He almost takes him down as well. Luminosity will get the opening points, but that's quite quickly conceded as Formal does mow them down from the back.
Well, remember, the single biggest issue in the game 1 hardpoint was Study clearly didn't show up. He was 13 and 30 to kick things off. If he can play well and match the slang of your top slayers in OpTic Gaming, they can play them tough.
There's a correlation here. Study performs, LG won SD. Maybe he does it again. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe it's less of a question of LG's best map Fringe. Is it Study's best map? We'll see as he does dive into a respawn again. This time it's Spacely who delivers in heaps. He gets himself a double and gets himself some time on the hill. He's going to be picking up the first kind of big pile of time. And now look at this positioning from Saints. That's fantastic work. He gets 2. He does also almost leave the battlefield, and OpTic have completely left the battlefield. It's a team wipe, and that's going to be solid work. 40 seconds left on the clock here as we do move towards Junkyard, and Saints is just going to get taken down, murdered this time by Crimsix. Close quarters with HVK.
Well, so far, this is brilliant stuff from the side of Luminosity. You're playing them very, very tough, but what gets scary, a lot of times the big separation doesn't come in until we get to Grandma's. That is where we'll really see teams start to pull away. So we'll have to see how these final 20 or so seconds go, because right now, if they give up this time, is that actually a dart out right now? You have a dart out for Spacely. You're probably not going to have Flak Jacket on many players. This should end up being, he's going to fly right into your bum.
Ooh,
just
okay.
the hit marker.
I mean, we knew it's a battle for spawns, right? You said it's all about Grandmas. If they have control, which currently LG do, that was what the dart was about, was just basically getting some control of that spawn. You can see one man is challenging in. It is going to be Formal.
Yep.
Was Formal. Past tense, because Spacely does deliver. Smokes are coming out, and they've got not only control of the spawns, they've got control of the hill, and they got the scrap time. Things are starting to look good, actually, for LG.
They're looking very, very good. You know, we talk about how big kind of hard points 3 through 4 can be for you. Or sorry, 2 through 4 can be for you. You can really pick up a lot of time here, and so far, Luminosity just rolling. Study 10 and 5. We talked about him needing to have a big performance. He's doing it thus far. Looking at the front window here, trying to line him up with the RK5, getting tagged up from behind, but still up. Can he keep the streak going? Still a ways to work towards this Lightning, but the lead continues to mount. This might be an uncontested 60 here for LG. Right as I say that, Krim breaks in the front window.
Yeah, well, as you say breaks, he just shoots a man in the back. Nothing really necessary there for OpTic. He didn't have to work too hard for that one. It's kind of gifted to him because of positioning and timing. We all know about COD timing as players and viewers. For now, though, the final 10 seconds, it does look like it's going to be scrap that is not going to be conceded. OpTic are not interested in that. Instead, we do move to the next rotation. It will be a battle on tracks, and currently, actually, it does look like Luminosity are on track to get some control. Nameless is going to be the first on the scene, and he's rocking that MA. Close quarters, though, not likely to win out a battle if Scump turns up with a VMP.
Well, let's see what he can do. Tries to push back tracks, end up dropping immediately, but you do see Saints close to the kinetic armor, also on a 4 streak. Can he make it 5? Not able to do so. Let's start to transition over. You see Psychosis out. Study has used, I believe, most of his Tempest, and I haven't seen really any kills come on the kill feed. This is a really good hard point to use it. His inmate's been on point. The Tempest didn't seem to pick up too many. He was able to get a couple of kills.
Yeah, just to reiterate your point, I mean, you pull out a Tempest on tracks, you expect sudden control, like instantaneous, click your fingers, that hill is yours. And this time, Study has absolutely nothing. It's rather flaccid performance with that Specialist, especially considering how long it does take to generate. And now his job is just to keep it contested. He goes for a bit of an audacious peek, and I do not think that was wise. He had no one to back him up.
He was on a 4 streak as well, too. Yeah, starting to work towards stuff. Tries to get, feeling a little bit confident. He's been having one hell of a start to the game. He's 14 and 7. He's double positive. He's doing really well. So look at, we talked about their need to slay with OpTic Gaming. Right now they are doing it. They have the advantage here, and they're up 40 points. This was a very, very good first side of rotations for Luminosity. The question is, can you keep it up? Because a lot of times where OpTic starts to open things up, it's during your second rotation, your third rotation, the tail end of the game where they just start to crush.
Is it a bit of an endurance race then with OpTic Gaming? Like they can just maintain this. They can maintain this. Luminosity, whoa, okay, Karma. Do calm down, please. No, not going to happen just yet. Instead, 108 then to 57. Luminosity have got control, and we go into the second set of rotations. This is better. Scump has control. He is, however, very, very vulnerable once Saints starts showing up, and he already has. Look at that space land a nade into the top pocket of his OpTic Gaming shirt, and so far, so good for OpTic here on the second rotation here at mid.
Well, you see Formal in a power position here at top bar, and he has his scythe just popping. He's able to win these engagements so easily. One not even looking. The second he guns there at barrel, he's finally going to get pushed and going to drop. But as we start to look at rotations here, there's 10 seconds left on our top middle hardpoint. We're going to start to rotate over. And let's switch over to the side of OpTic Gaming, because they've already got 2 players inside of 10. They're ready for this. I'm going to highlight the number 5. That's going to be Spacely on the minimap, as he's going to be ready to push the back alley. We'll actually switch over to his point of view as he's trying to get the break.
No stranger to pushing the back alley, are you, Maven? Now, though, Spacely is going to be making a play towards hardware. He's going to be looking all good in the hood. He's got himself Psychosis and just pushes it for the break, and it does nothing. That is not ideal, that's for sure. Scump with a double, and we do see, once again, some green control.
They've got control for now.
Ooh,
Nameless does have this scythe. We'll see where he opts to use this, maybe on tracks, maybe at Grandma's. But now they've broken in, turning and trying to burn. It's going to be Nameless. Can he get it done? Pushed with the L-car, able to find the kill with a headshot onto Crimsix. It's now they're locking it down. And this is where Luminosity did their damage before, right? The second hard point, and in the transition to Grandma's, they completely thumped OpTic. Can they get it going the second side through? Because if they do these back-to-back again, you got to feel like they put the game almost out of reach.
They're just hitting everything. OpTic are being outslayed, and this was the whole point we made about, how good they are in respawns, is because not many teams can go pound for pound slaying power. Currently, LG are doing it. It's fantastic to watch. The scrap will be gifted to OG, but that's all about this rotate. You talked about the influence of Grannies. Once again, we see if LG can, well, get a repeat success.
Yeah, last time, they had the early setup. This time it's going to be OpTic Gaming, but it's Kinetic Armor finding in. They've already busted in, but they don't have the spawns in the back. They have to pick off Formal, who's set up there. Can they pick him off? He has the scythe to work with. They're trying to find the kill. He's able to pick up one, still controlling spawns. But actually, the rest of his team pretty much spawns out. The favorable spawns right now coming in for Luminosity.
Dude, Formal is nuts.
Yeah.
Formal is absolutely nuts.
He really is
He's
terrifying.
getting kills when he shouldn't. He really is. It still isn't stopping Luminosity from getting quite a convincing lead now, holding it over the heads.
And look where he is. He's still in the back here. He's remained a threat this entire time. But honestly, the main thing is here, despite the fact that he's been in this position, which is one of the key ones on the map, look at who's inside the hard point. It's been Luminosity as they continue to extend this lead.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go on about Formal, but he should probably get some insurance for that thumb, because this is absolutely insane. Look at him go. He walks on in, and he is going to get them a big part of why OpTic do find 100 hits.
But you have a 4 streak for Formal, you have a 5 streak for Karma, but honestly, that didn't turn into a lot of time. I mean, yes, you get the scrap time here, but the majority was held by the side of Luminosity, and they're going to be the ones set up on tracks. They're the first ones in. They're picking up the time. They're looking to get the hold, and it's Spacely that's going to be in that danger zone between both these trains, trying to put in shots, trying to tease out the players for his AR. But you do see the scythe coming in the back for Formal. He's able to keep the streak going. It's up to 5 now. Him and Karma both controlling the pace, but somebody's got to get in the hard point.
Is this really happening again? That's the second time we've seen someone use a specialist on tracks and do nothing with it. Formal this time falls into the same trap we saw earlier with, I couldn't remember who it was. Is it Study with the Tempest?
I believe it was Study that struggled with the Tempest. He does have it here. Maybe he'll opt to pull this out, but there's only 30 seconds left. Might leave this for another hard point as we move forward, but they have a chance to break the 200 mark and start to put OpTic Gaming away. Can they maintain the lead, or will OpTic come screaming back? It's Study inside, trying to hold, not able to do so. The scrap time should be going the way of OpTic Gaming as they're picking up the kills.
LG are starting to fall to the OpTic rock, just slowly but surely. It is a bit of an endurance race at this point in time. It does look like LG could be falling foul to this marathon of Call of Duty. Nice work from Scump again with the VMP, takes down Study. Scump has been rather influential in this game. 22 kills to his name. Not going positive. In stark contrast, though, Formal is. He's been great here on Fringe. We describe it as a map that favors the assault rifle, and he's telling us exactly why. Nameless, in the same kind of vein, is doing fantastic work with the Man of War.
Yeah, he really has been. Speaking of Nameless, we haven't had a ton of time on with him. He does have the scythe to work with. He's pushing into the hard point. He has the scythe. He's looking up top. Simtex coming in. Bullets coming in. Not able to find it. So you have, what, the Tempest for Study. You see there's 3 gold bars you have for the side of Luminosity currently, so they have a lot more utility to work with a pretty significant margin of lead. They're up, what, 50 or so points? They're looking pretty comfortable, but can they close it out is the question. Teams struggle to do that so much against OpTic Gaming. You got to do it here. There's one snapping onto the second. It's basically getting it done, and they're wrapping up time mid-map.
So far, so good then. 140 to 202, and usually you see teams reach that 200 mark and you feel like it's almost over. Those final 45 often will come rather quickly, and so far so good for Luminosity. They're getting the scrap here on middle. Junkyard is going to be the battleground for OpTic then. The game of survival will be played here.
And if you're talking about Yard, this has been won by Luminosity both times through.
Right.
They have dominated OpTic Gaming here. Can they do it again? It's Nameless's good positioning, opening things up. Not able to gun the second player. That was Scump winning one inside, and he is on a 4 streak. The bottom left, the kill feed, looking like OpTic Gaming so far. It's Scump continuing to dominate. The shots coming in. So many hit markers, but not able to pick up the kill. He's going to need Crim and Karma here to back this up.
See how far they can push this one. Nice work from Crimsix, but swiftly traded by Spacely. Now Scump comes in. Studies responding. This is a constant trading affair. And And we are going to be seeing, looks like OpTic come out on top of this one so far. They will prevail, and look at that. Scump just shoves the barrel into the belly button of Spacely, no problem there. And actually going to be hanging out on Granny's very early on, 20 seconds still left, and now he roams around waiting for that rotation.
This is one where you want to rotate as early as you feel comfortable doing. They're going to give up, though. They're going to give up 15 points here by rotating early. So you're going to put them at, what, almost exactly 230. And you're relying on basically a perfect hold by OpTic Gaming to tie this up.
A calculated risk?
Yeah,
Is that what we're talking here?
You're thinking you give up that time. You kind of relied, I think it was Crim6 left in the hard point to see if maybe he could clutch up by himself. But now it's going to be all on Scump. Scump picking up two, looking for the full kill. It's Kinetic on Kinetic. It ends up going the way of Saints, and Saints now finds the second. Can they close it out here? They got the break they needed. Still some players to deal with, but Luminosity looking to extend this series. 13 more points here, and they are pushing this.
The analyst said it was done here, and Luminosity are going to prove us wrong. 10 seconds left. Surely this is theirs. Saints has been such an influential cog in the Luminosity machine. 5 seconds. There's almost no chances. 2 more members of OpTic do prevail, and it's not going to be enough. The last point will fall, and OpTic are going to fall in this one. Fringe is Luminosity's map, maybe.
It is. That's all they've won through this series. They took the Fringe S&D. They take the Fringe hardpoint. You saw how tight that first uplink was on evac. Can they take it here on uplink breach? This series just got a whole hell of a lot more interesting, and I cannot wait to hear what the analysts think of that one.
It's finally happened. LG have taken a respawn, and this is the squad we saw at times at Anaheim. The explosive team that can wind up taking down anybody in the world. That's what got them to even make it into the Stage 2 finals of the Call of Duty World League after their 2-6 start they had in Stage 2. That was a well-rounded team effort from LG, and they deserve to win that map.
Yeah, it was exactly that. I mean, finally, everybody's presence was felt on the map. Saints was having some big plays, Spacey as well. Everybody chipping in where needed, and they did a fantastic job on the second and third hard points in transition to that all game long. That's where they got the majority of their time.
It really was, Dalton. Now, I know you want to go. We're going to get into it, but we got to hear from TP. We got to hear from TP. The man is ready at the telestrator. TP, thoughts on that game?
You guys will have your time, don't worry, I'll get to you. But basically, to start this one up, I'm going to break down a clip to close out how LG was able to break into that last Granny Hill and end up clutching the map to keep them in this best of 7. So let's get this clip started, just break down what sort of happened. First, we have Scump in the hill. He's doing a great job of locking this down for OG. And then all of a sudden, the train runs through. Saints pops Kinetic, breaks in, picks up Scump, and slides in and turns on the player Crim, has that Kinetic armor in the back, is working together with his team to break in to get the last sort of seconds in that one. Very, very quality stuff from him, and it's easy from then on. He spawns a whole other team out, and that's a perfect use of Kinetic there. The last gunfight, able to clinch it up for LG to keep them in the series. Very, very good stuff from them. So, to break into this, whoop, that's the wrong map. Fringe, that's the one I'm going for. There we go. So here we're going to start off. Saints was the player of the game on this one to end up taking it for LG. He was posted up in the middle of the map right there. He had teammates with him towards that L wall, middle street, and what do? They coordinated a play, they communicate with each other, and they say, okay, we're gonna break in through the front window. We're not going for spawns at all because you have that Kinetic armor, right? So you break in here, you have 2 teammates hop in up here, and Scump's in the other right there in the hill, and what Saints is just waiting for them to break in. So you wait for the Kinetic to pop, his 2 teammates break in, and then Saints just runs in, and that's it. He breaks in, gets those 2 frags. Crim and Scump were in there, and there's nothing they could really do. The OpTic team was spawning out all the way back over towards the trackside barn over there, back alley, and things like that. So once Saints is able to break in, get those first 2 intro kills, there's nothing OpTic can really do to break back. There was a couple players holding the back spawns right there, but when you get those intro kills, Study was able to break in towards the middle fences right there, block the spawns, and that's why everyone started spawning out. That's going to be it. Saints popping that Kinetic armor at an absolutely perfect time to clutch up the map for LG. That's going to do it over here at the telestrator. Back over to the boys at analysis.
Great use of the specialists is what TP says was a big reason why they were able to close that map out. Couldn't agree more. Saints needed to step up. He did just that. On the side of OpTic Gaming, what was looking wrong from what was different from the first hardpoint to this one here?
Obviously, they didn't completely outslay their opponents. I think just Luminosity bringing it to them, being able to hang with them when it comes to just overall staying on the map. Obviously, one thing that allowed them to maintain their positioning on the map and just keep the games close.
Now, I'm wondering, should I bring up stats about Breach, or should I not? Because OpTic fans want me to bring up stats, because every time I bring up stats, OpTic dominate the map.
Yeah, they prove you wrong.
But now if I don't,
stats are stats. They need to be told. Don't shy down.
It is my job. Well, now we will wind up seeing Breach up. I think we're going to get a quick restart to that lobby. But that map, 39% win percentage in the online league for OpTic Gaming. It's
going up a bit. They won the hard point.
40% now. 40% is where they currently stand.
By the end of this tournament, it'll be above 50.
It'll be above 50, right?
It'll be their best map.
Imagine
they
just
it.
14-0 on Breach throughout this tournament is what OpTic are aiming for. Now, that would be quite the scenario. Yes, as I said, we will be getting a quick reset on that Bandit Protect. Make sure everyone is in the lobby and set and ready to go. Now we're getting into a Game 6. This series has gone on far longer than OpTic Gaming fans would like. Luminosity fans are happy. They've even stayed alive to make it to this point. What a collapse it would be for OG if this is the series that they throw away, being up 3-1.
I just want to say, let's cast our minds back to Stage 1 finals. Revan talked about it. You know, they started off slow. I think OpTic have come with a bit of fire today. We saw in Map 1, they proved a lot of people wrong. Formal just kind of brushed stats aside. But this could go all the way. LG now, you know, sat there thinking, we're going toe-to-toe with this. Yeah, we're still behind, but we push it to Map 6, Map 7. And again, S&D, they showed how good they were.
And I think we look back in this series as well. Remember that evac uplink, how close and contested it was. If that's one that LG wound up winning, now it's a completely different series if we're at this point.
Yep, we've literally flipped the script if that's exactly how it all breaks down. Either way, though, we should be getting to the action here momentarily. We saw Man of War being brought out at times. We saw how the different ARs were being used. Specialists came into play multiple times. Maybe some misuses down near that rails area. Breach uplink, though, a map where a specialist can be a free score. Camo, literally, if it's in, will last the duration of grabbing the drone, getting it to either front lab or bottom broken, and moving it right all the way through. You can be by yourself and get scores. EMPs, I think, are going to be very important to shut down specialist abilities when they're going to be used on some of these offensive plays.
And players have, you know, they've gotten onto that as well. You saw even today players using EMPs, or not EMPs, hardwired when they're the person with camo available. They'll bring that so that they don't get affected, so that they can continue to make sure that camo gets its best usage.
Now we've seen as well where teams, they just want any type of control they can get on the map. Typically, you go towards bottom broken or move towards green if you're scoring from that preferred side when you're trying to score towards bottom broken. But a team like LG, do you just want them to play for anything they can get? Should they try to go for setups, or do they run it bottom palace if that's where their opening is? Do they run it right through broken if they think they have a timing they can get? Or should they try to play more straight up?
I think LG need to play as it goes along. Don't think too much. Don't think, let's just focus. In this game, we're going to go green, or we're going to go glass, or we're going through mid. You need to really just kind of adjust in the moment. You know, if glass is the best way, or through middle's the best way. But I think that's the key for LG is don't lose composure now. Yes, you've got back into this series. Take a bit of a break. It looks like they're doing that, which is good. And just go into this calm with confidence. And they've got more than enough skill to kind of take down OG. We've seen it before. And Breach, you know, stats are stats. You know, it's not their best game mode.
And I completely agree with Momo. Just play off the information you get throughout the map. Like, if you're pushing over towards the lab side of the map and you don't have cages blocked, you need to start pushing palace. You need to make sure you have top AC control. Just make sure you cover the basics here when playing uplink. I mean, we've seen how volatile the sides can be. Just thinking back to OpTic series against Rise back at Anaheim. Like, no lead is safe. It's possible to come back from whatever deficit.
This was one where OpTic Gaming, if you don't know exactly the scenario Revan was talking about, OpTic Gaming go, what, down 11-0?
Yeah, something like that.
At the half, and then steamroll right back in to win like 13-12 inside 2 with just a beautiful setup on that preferred side. You know they're going to bring that out here. Earlier, though, in the Stronghold, we talked about preferred side. OpTic, it didn't matter. They were scoring from preferred, less preferred. It did not matter. They were getting the job done. That could definitely happen again here on something like Breach Uplink. Is there anything else in Bandit Protect that we've seen so far, or that's been banned out, that you maybe want to see in play for Luminosity?
No, I feel like for the most part, just their game plan going to the series was just play straight up. It's been working for them in the online league. They've been on a hot streak as of late as well. And, you know, why change it from online to LAN? Just keep the game plan the same it's been for them throughout the majority of the stage.
Yeah, I really say that just because is it time for maybe a Haymaker, laser sight, 100 Thieves inspired class setup?
I just want to see the basics now, because I don't want LG to try and change the game. At the start of it, I might have said, you know, OpTic, they're dominant, you know, you need to change something. But it's good. We'll get to see it, and we're into the ban and protect. I just like seeing these North American, you know, the differences. One thing we all see is high caliber and rapid fire come a lot sooner than Europe.
And it's because it leaves opportunity to kind of go ahead and answer to whatever ban could potentially come towards the end of that game. You're not just kind of forced to go after rapid fire, high caliber. Active camo right away from Saints, and Scump bans out the Man of War. So OpTic are normally fine with playing without active camo. Again, so early in the ban and protect, Revan? I just don't understand.
I mean, it's fine, as you're saying. It gives you time to react. If anything crazy happens, like a concussion protect, you'll have time to maybe get like attack mass protect if you're worried about it getting banned out. There's the overdrive ban, so all the key stuff already gone. Camo, overdrive, overclock, rapid, high cal, even the mana ward thrown in there. Maybe you start to target the tactical, see if you could split them 1-1 here. Maybe you go after HCs. I feel like both guys now are just waiting to see what each other are going to do.
Yeah, like those first 6, they couldn't be more on point. There's just the standard uplinks. And as Revan said, tacticals are going to go, but it does mean HCXD slips the net. So, of course, you know, thinking about Flak Jacket, Afterburner, being Breach, you want to have that in your back pocket. Maybe they'll be running those kind of 4 perk setups.
Yeah, obviously you want to try to stack your weapon with as many attachments as possible, but this is one where, you know, Afterburner, Perk 1 Greed, Flak Jacket, very safe class to use, because not only are you worried about HCXDs, all the lethal grenades make it through, and Karma's more than willing to use Danger Close Hemtex.
Oh gosh, especially on this map where you just toss them right out from top broken, bottom broken, land them near that middle hut area, cause a ton of havoc. Heatwave from Karma, Heatwave from Spacely makes a lot of sense. Some of the best Heatwave plays we've seen in Black Ops 3 are Karma on this map in Breach. When looking at these two teams, when looking at their uplink record, is there anything that really stands out for you, Revan, from what we've seen in stage 2?
Yeah, I guess throughout stage 2, uplink has been OpTic Gaming's, you know, worst game mode if you just look at it solely on map count. Yes, they're very competent when it comes to the game mode, and obviously when the pressure is as high as this, it's when they're going to perform at their best. Once again, just going back to the points we've brought up since the beginning of the series, it's not going to be an easy map for either of these teams.
It definitely isn't, but I can tell you one thing. This man right here, we mentioned him earlier on, we mentioned him in the middle of the series, and now we're mentioning him towards the end. Study has the second highest KD on Breach uplink at 1.31. Again, the overall team KD of 1.04, and this goes back to that evac uplink. These were pretty similar numbers between these teams. And it went all the way down to what? The final second that just didn't go in Luminosity's favor.
And
they
that's
kept
not
it
even close. Like 1.31 and 1.04, like Study is pushing his team through on that. You know, on the kill-death ratio side, of course. The objective is a huge part. But I am thinking back to that last uplink. You know, it was so close. OpTic Gaming did an OpTic Gaming. They clutched up the last 10, 15 seconds. And hopefully LG learned from that. And, you know, I want to see a Game 7.
I know we're talking about Study a lot, but clearly there's some correlation to when he's performing well and his team winning. I mean, you saw it throughout this series so far already.
They've won Fringe twice, unfortunately for them. Now they've got to try to win a Breach if they want to get to that Game 7. Can Luminosity hang on? Let's find out.
Does Luminosity prove to be your TSM of the Stage 1 final? Remember in that first round, they push OpTic all the way to the Game 7. They come up a bit short, but now Luminosity has the opportunity. First uplink.
It isn't
so
looking
tight.
bad. It isn't looking bad for them, especially considering this Breach, right? You were sitting outside with OpTic,
Breach,
telling them the stats.
Breach uplink has been much better for OpTic than their hardpoint. The hardpoint's where they actually kind of struggled throughout stage 2. Their uplink not nearly as much, and we've seen OpTic on land. Thinking of Anaheim, Rise had an 11-point lead from the strong side. It swapped. OpTic roared back from down 11. It's the biggest comeback we've ever seen. So this team, when they get control, and they're not going to be spawning on the strong side to kick things off, but when they are on this strong side pushing towards broken, if you give them an inch of control, they can just dominate you in a fashion unlike anything we see in Call of Duty.
Can Luminosity take us all the way? It would be in a very impressive feat.
Give me the Game 7, baby!
We want it. We would love to see that Redwood. We haven't seen it once yet, and now we prepare. Crimsix got himself a double kill. Formal as well just turns up with the AR, and already Crimsix is on the objective. He's actually going to be making a big play. He can get an easy one-point play here. It looks like he's going to be taking a bit of a gamble, rolling of the dice for the one-point play, and it's going to be an easy start. Look at that OpTic game. 30 seconds haven't even passed yet.
I don't know how to word it, but like any points you get on this side, it's just gold, man. Like it is perfect. You don't expect to put up a lot from this side, so anything you can get, especially something off the rip like that, huge for OpTic Gaming.
You saw there actually Formal trying to go for an almost impossible shot towards AC, and the fact that he's going for shots like that is testament to just how much confidence this man currently possesses here on Breach. Study though taking a whole lot of heavy fire. He's heavily tagged up. He is bleeding internally, however, proceeds to go ahead and reset that armor and increase that survivability once more. Now he looks to try and go ahead and make this one-point play happen. He's he's done the loop, but he can't get the melee. What on earth is happening?
Is this somehow going to turn into a score? No, it's
okay.
the interception of it coming in for Formal. They will get the toss off. Yeah, ring around a Rosie there, a little bit at top glass. You think it may pay off for Luminosity, but they're not able to get it through.
Damn.
Now it's their chance to get points. You have Saints pushing the way. This should absolutely be a dunk, but look at the counter opportunity. We got to hop right back to mid-map because you've got a good opportunity to probably get forward and get points on the board. There's only one person to beat really inside a drone spawn here. Now everybody's wrapping back. OpTic not able to counter fast enough, but somehow if he would have turned and melee the next player, that would have been some filthy
I'd have taken
stuff.
this headset off and walked out the room.
Yeah, I'm taking a break, boys. Do it without me. But now it's on Spacely. He's tagged up, finally finished off. You got 2 down for the side of Luminosity. And right now, I mean, you only have a 2-1 advantage. Nothing too big, but Karma is without a kill right now. Almost 2 minutes of gameplay, and he hasn't picked up a kill.
Now, you talk about, the less favored side and stuff. A trend we see in Europe on the less favored side is quite often, if you don't have a playmaking potential, we see people throwing it out for the 15-second reset, like endlessly.
All the time. Yep.
Same kind of trend in North America.
So, maybe not as common, but yes, you will see that pretty frequently, especially if you've given up map control. You put it for the 15 seconds, you give yourself an opportunity to battle back, but now with Krim falling off and the 2Ps coming in for Study, he is on a 6 streak. This is why you look at stats. You saw the astounding KD he had. He had started off on fire. I mean, think if he didn't have such an abysmal game 1, that could have been pretty tight. I mean, he went 10 in 30 or whatever it was.
It's not stopping Maven. It's just bleeding. OpTic are hemorrhaging at this point in time. They can't stop. It's, 1 to 6. Luminosity looking fantastic here on the more favored side. Study in particular finds 7. He's put to Hellstorm onto the top of Crimsix. Solid work from him. And now Spacey's doing it as well. Nearly gets a double. Scump very, very heavily tagged up. We're not going to be able to convert it into a kill just yet, though. And full streaks as well for Mr. Study. He has still got the lightning strike remaining, and indeed, he'll be able to strike through middle.
Yeah, I mean, he's working to wrap back on his streaks. He's only died 3 times, 10 and 4, and you're still having the similar struggle. You know, we talked a little bit about Karma when he started out 0-4. He was just 1-8, picks up another kill, but they're going to need him. He is a guy that, especially on Breach, can be the X factor. Whether you're talking about CTF or uplink, he has a really good opportunity to make big plays for this team. He always seems to be in the right position, but right now it is all Study and the boys of Luminosity bringing it to OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, Luminosity are making OpTic sweat, and that's so refreshing to see. OpTic really are going to have to pull their finger out here into the second half. Currently, though, 1:30 left in the first half.
That's a big kill from Formal. You shut down the Tempest before we can get anything going. That Tempest may have been able to singly kind of maintain control and pressure for Luminosity. Now it is a chance here for OpTic to get forward, but they lose 2 players in the process. 1 to the HC, 1 to Formal getting gunned.
Nice.
It basically immediately slows everything down when those 2 kills come through.
And Saints is just winning every duel he gets thrust into. 15 kills. That's a very high number for just 4 minutes of play here on Uplink. And he's going to get himself number 16.
Winning gunfights like that. And, we've talked so much about what Study's doing. Saints is that, well, those 2, kind of 1A, 1B. When you talk about the guys that are going to lead the way in the slaying department, you need them to do it. Right now, they are getting it done, but you've got 3 down for the side of Luminosity. It's now finally a push opportunity for the side of OpTic. But remember, everyone at home that watched Anaheim, you remember Rise with that 11-point lead. You remember OpTic turning it on the second side. They are surely not out of this yet.
Absolutely not. But I mean, 7 is a big number for Luminosity, and assuming if we can see the same slaying potential from Saints and Co, they can really stay competitive.
I love this. He's going to lightning their spawn, try to open things up. He's able to find 1, not a second. They're able to get safe, and maybe the defensive hold will come in, but that's 3 down. It's just Karma to hold on. The drone has gotten stuck, though. They may actually end up losing points, as that's going to be a 15-second reset. It should be popping here momentarily. It's just at a spot they can't grab. That most likely was at least 1 or 2 points for the side of Luminosity.
Oh, that's going to be agonizing for LG, but it's not quite over just yet. OpTic are not out of the woods. 10 seconds left. Is a potential 1-point play you can make from that side of Broken. Instead, though, he should... hello?
There it is. Little pass to himself. The jiggle, the wiggle, and the dunk is through. 9-1. Luminosity dominates the first half.
And that was a one-sided affair. OpTic really struggling to get going, and they are going to have to pull something rather magical out here in the second half in Uplink. Will we see a full 7 maps, Maven? A big part of me wants to say yes. A big part of me wants to see SD
again. You hope
again.
so. As a caster, you always love the game 5,
Absolutely.
the game 7, the game 3, whatever the series is. You want to see the tension at its highest, and we certainly have the option here. But now is where the OpTic train starts. When they get on this side, their slaying ability and what they can do when they get control of Broken, they can absolutely dominate in just a matter of minutes. Let's see if they can do it here.
And here on Breach, the conductor of that OpTic hype train will be Formal. He's been looking great so far in this series. Now he has to do it again. with that assault rifle. Not solid work from Karma as well. He was very quiet at the start of things. He actually went 0 and 6 to start off this series. But look at that. He's managed to climb straight back up, and he's playing with the big boys. 11 for him alongside 2 of his teammates. And now Crimsix is going to be rocking that drone. He's going for a bit of an early route. This is the most favored route here on the most favored side, believe it or not. He may even just get that 1 point play at home. Oh, he's just walking in. Very smart from him. Stalling on the wall, and that'll be 2.
And this is the problem. If you give them a little bit of control, they can absolutely punish you here. It's now going to be back to Karma mid-map. Needs to win some gunfights here to slow down any sort of counter opportunity for Luminosity. He wins the one. He gets it done. Scump, I thought, was going to have an engagement here inside of Broken, but he's just having free reign. The more time he spends on this side of the map, as he just absolutely guns Spacely there, the better it is for the side of OpTic. And now you have another scoring opportunity already. We're in the first 60 seconds, and OpTic may more than likely have 4 points on the board. Look how quickly they can come back. It's terrifying, man. No lead is safe with OpTic.
Well, and on this map in particular, it does seem just so much more favored. Incredible stuff from OpTic to get 2 very early 2-point plays from them. Solid communication. They are definitely showing that they can laugh in the face of danger. Now 5-9. 4 points in the opening, well, 60 seconds of play. And now Spacely to make an impact. Now Heatwave does nothing.
What just happened to him? How did he get 1 beatdown after he popped the Heatwave and the kinetic gets shut down with an HC? Everything going south for Luminosity. The only positive is you still have Nameless mid-map who might be able to really slow down OpTic. And there's the 2-piece with the HC, and now Study with drone in hand. They're going to try and push the top side. HC going to be pushing out as well. Should be able to find yet another kill. Not able to clean it up, but it is the VMP of Spacely able to get it done.
Well, you lose 2 specialists to absolutely nothing, and in the face of adversity, Nameless turns up with a HCXD. Now Studies are trying to make the play. He does have a sight. He's unable to use it, though. Of course, with that drone in his palms, he's going to go ahead and get fresh armor to go try and convert this into a 1-point play. He's been taken down. Look at that. Solid work. Karma was the one in the way, and now LG, a little bit of a non-risky play. I guess Study doesn't want to take the risk.
You needed that, dude. Just some kind of point, some kind of like feel good here on the second side as you got pummeled off the rip. The question is, can they keep it going over the closing 2 minutes and 40 seconds?
27 frags for Saints. He is running away with this one at this point in time. He's been very influential for Luminosity. It seems like the LG boys are just taking it in turns to be the main man here at this point in time, though we are going to be seeing once again Spacely with the drone. He's going to be defending that one. OpTic unable to convert anything.
Yeah, went over to Saints because he thought he's going to get aggressive here, maybe try to make a play. But on the other end of things, OpTic going in for a dunk, trying to put points on the board, gets shut down. So a very nice hold from the side of LG.
And just to kind of understand where Saints is going so right, we are still on board with him, and look at him just mowing them down. This defense can be his. He could even get another one here. There is a player towards that EC. He's prone and ready, goes for the high aim, and oh my lord, I think he's got him. That is going to be another 4-kill streak for him, and he's going to rip out that HCXD to accompany another 2-point play for Luminosity. It's feeling more and more like a map 7, man.
And that's a reason that we went to Saints, despite the fact that you saw OpTic pushing on the opposite side.
Wow.
He's able to maintain that pressure, and the counterattack comes in so quickly as he goes on a 4 streak. Study as well. It's been this duo of Study and Saints that have been dominating OpTic Gaming. You have 21 and 12 for Study, 31 and 19 for the side of Saints, and this is nuts, man. To play at this high a level against OpTic Gaming is insane.
Formal's got his keeper gloves on. Those slots, 2 very good interceptions from him. That this scoreline could actually be worse if Formal wasn't there and able to pick up some fantastic saves with that drone. And now, oh, hang on a second. Crimsix is...
See you later, buddy.
He's getting knocked off the map. Looks like the scythe was a big part of that, though. But 12-5. This is overwhelming favor of Luminosity. You know, we actually started the second half with a lot of faith in OpTic, especially seeing those early 4 points
right away, right?
And it's just, it looks like they've once again hit a bit of a wall.
Yeah, it was just getting that 1 point on the board, giving Luminosity a little bit more breathing room, showing themselves that they can do it from this side of the map. And with 56 seconds left, this would be one of the more ridiculous comebacks in the history of Call of Duty if they're able to do this. Dodging an AC, bobbing and weaving. There's one at bottom green. He's trying to stay alive, has a little bit of help from Scump, but it's not going to be traded out. The heat wave comes in. Somehow he's still up, but will fall. It's just on Crimsix now. Can he get the dunk? They need it. It's through. 5-point deficit. Under 40 seconds to play. We got to get right back to mid-map as OpTic Gaming is trying to do the impossible.
I mean, it is mathematically impossible. This surely will not happen. Luminosity are now surely going to be taking us into the 7th. We're going to see Search and Destroy for the first time.
I don't know if that's
25
true.
seconds.
I don't know if that's true. Everybody coming up, but look at mid-map. You do have 2 players from Luminosity. As long as they can grab it and reset, it's over. Spacely is set to get it in hand. Toss it for 15, but he's not able to do so. Is anyone there from OpTic Gaming to grab the drone and get forward? They've got the break. Karma getting forward. You have to get the dunk, have somebody at mid-map, and get the 1-point toss. Are they able to get it through? The dunk just falls short, and the hopes and dreams of OpTic Gaming's miraculous comeback just falls short.
It's going to be solved on Search and Destroy. We go into a 7th map, and Luminosity are finding that form.
If they would have came back from down 7 with 60 seconds, I would have thrown my PlayStation at Jack's head.
Oh my god, that is going to be a feeling that Luminosity cannot replicate. They're almost shaking as they take it into a 7th, and they are pressing some of the best, if not the best, Call of Duty players in the world.
Game 7, baby! Analysis desk, what are your guys' thoughts?
Apparently, Maven wants to use my head as a target. Like what is it? Is a PlayStation like a frisbee?
I think that was the idea behind it, yeah.
It's a big, he says it's a big target. Thanks, Maven. Just one, he wants to physically assault me. Now he's emotionally distressing me. Just the life I live working with Maven on a daily basis. I can tell you someone else, though, who's in not the best of moods right now. It's the OG squad. They've now given up a 3-1 series lead to now find themselves going into a Game 7 again in the first series of a stage final.
I thought Luminosity played that whole uplink just very well. I mean, you look at them on the more preferred side, they're able to find opportunities and capitalize, even though OpTic Gaming had a very good start to that one. They get the early 1-pointer. Then, on the least preferred side, they're still able to find points there, which is very tough to do.
They're just getting so hyped as well. Like, we can hear it. I don't know about those guys at home, but like saying to Study as well, just shouting like, let's go. And it's just kind of crazy to see that OpTic are kind of quiet. And this is not what we're used to. Yes, usually they start off a little bit slow on Friday, but realistically, let's think about this. Well, it's not even Friday, so. But realistically, we're going into a Search and Destroy. Redwood, yes, OpTic are pretty strong on it, but it's viable that, they could be out by the end of. I don't even want to say it.
Well, before we start the Ban and Protect for that Game 7 and get into that Redwood Search and Destroy, Teeb has to touch on what Luminosity did well on that map. Take it away.
Thanks, Shaq. In this one, I'm going to explain a little bit how Luminosity kept map control over OpTic Gaming. It's something that's very, very hard to do against one of the best teams in the world. But here's how they did it. You use the objective, you use the drone to freeze the other team on the map, and therefore gain more map control because of it. So let's start this clip up so I can walk through a little bit. So this is the situation. Study pulls out his streaks, gets an intro kill over towards that green sign. The drone resets towards middle. 2 dead for them. You see the drone resets at the later seconds of this half, and they get a dunk at the end. Here's the reason why they're able to pull it off. The drone resets. You get the lead blockers going up towards Broken. Doing a great job. OpTic's wrapping back towards the bottom Broken, towards Statue. The drone now just waits. The player at the point has to freeze and watch this drone player. They send the player around the flank to pick up these last 2 players, which is Study towards the point. Therefore, the drone player can push through and get the dunk to close out the half. Very good stuff. So, here's how they set it up. They use the streaks off the drone reset. The drone resets there at the middle. Very great stuff to start off. There's the drone. Someone pulls that, takes it up towards the bottom Broken, and then they stop. The last 2 players from OpTic Gaming have to wrap back and are sitting at the drone point at the double doors. Very important stuff for the drone player to just peek out, shoulder peek, and make the players freeze. They can't go to green. They can't look at their side because they have to pre-aim the middle doorways. This is when a player from LG goes green, gets the easy flank. It is Study. Does a perfect job, gets to this back AC, takes out those 2 players at the point, leaving up the open lane for the ball guy to just walk up and get the dunk. That's how you use the drone in order to get map control, freeze the other team on the map. They can't go to the positions that they want to, therefore gaining map control. That's going to end it for this one. Back over to analysis again.
An interesting look and perspective at how exactly that all broke down. You never really think of how the drone just is like a magnet of the other players. Wherever they push, they've got to keep focus on them. And if he could just play passive for a second, let his teammates develop the action around him, it could work out for a play like that. Luminosity have now tied up this series, and what's more important for me is not only did they tie it, but they beat OpTic Gaming at Hardpoint, at Uplink, game modes that they had already lost in this series.
And they won the Search and Destroy.
Won the Search and Destroy. This is scary if you're not the gaming fan.
Yeah, you're going into the last S&D kind of thinking, these are maps which they should have closed out. Online you would always go for OpTic.
Well, right now, you can take a look at our best of 7 breakdown. It all started with OpTic Gaming with a 250 to 125 hardpoint. They looked like they were going to stop. It was going to be a quick series. 11 to 10 in the evac uplink. OpTic were down or tied into the final 20 seconds where they got a clutch one from Karma. Then in Search and Destroy on Fringe, Study was a machine. First Blood's sniping, it did not matter. He got the job done. OpTic Gaming, they looked furious though in the map to come. In Stronghold CTF, they destroyed it. It was not even a map. It looked like they were playing pubs. What I really appreciate, though, from this LG team was they kept their head in the game. They refocused back up, and with their backs against the wall in this single elimination best of 7 format, They fought back on the fringe hardpoint, won that 250 to 175, and then clutched up on the breach uplink from the not preferred side. They still got the job done, and now they've earned themselves the opportunity to win this series in a Game 7 Search and Destroy on Redwood, one of my favorite maps. And what I always say about Redwood, man, is you need, obviously, to trade efficiently if you're going to play offensively, if you're going to push towards, let's say, that top A tree. If you don't get first blood, you need to trade it. You need to get that objective planted right away and hold the sites. Redwood is all about retaking.
Also, on the defensive end, you need a plan. And you need multiple plans just to react to what the offense is going to throw at you. Just because the bomb sites are so far away, you're going to get spread out thin. It's going to happen one way or another, but how you react and what you do to adjust from that really defines a team on this map.
Go ahead.
For me, again, watching, these North American teams, the way they play, yes, we've seen it online, but online it's sometimes a bit different. Europeans, what I will say is, once that A-bomb is down, they very rarely retake it. I want to see how the North Americans kind of adapt to it, but I think it's all about specialists as well going into this. Ban and protect.
Here we go. The ban and protect for Game 7 between OpTic Gaming and Luminosity Gaming. And the first ban is the SVG from Formal. He does not want to deal with Study at all.
Also, he's been using the PO6 a bit more as of late, so he's pretty practiced with the other sniper rifle.
I think that's more, though, of a sign towards Study was on point with it. Let's not deal with it. Hey, that might not have been his decision, but, he's got vocal leaders on his team like Crim6, like Karma, saying we don't want to have to deal with Study on the map. Rapid fire and high caliber right back from Luminosity. They're still sticking with what they feel most comfortable with, and it's got them this far.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see, our tactical's going to slip the net as well. I'd like to think that they will come in sooner rather than later, but Thermal going as well. So again, that's coming from Crim6. That's 2 bans that are targeting those snipers. If I'm Study, I'm kind of sat there pretty proud of myself, like, I'm making them do things that they don't want to do.
He's looking solid, right, as we continue through. Scump and Nameless now with their decisions. Overclock ban from Nameless. Scump taking his time with his decision. Typically, this would be where a tactical would come into play. You maybe ban out a concussion and then a flashbang to follow, or vice versa.
I feel like you want to get the Shiva out of play.
A third sniper ban. They are continuing it through. A sign of ultimate respect for what Study was able to accomplish back on Fringe.
And if the tacticals make it through here, you see them getting targeted now, but that would be huge. When you talk about slowing down the OpTic Gaming defensive push, the tacticals are going to get banned out, so I'm not even going to talk about it anymore, but the Shiva does make it through.
If they ban out tactical right there from LG, which they just did, OpTic Gaming ban the other, there's no excuse. If they win this series, they played OpTic Gaming how OpTic Gaming want to play and beat them at their own game.
100%. 100%. It wasn't like they were playing crazy strats or, really went out to counter them. They came, they played their game, and they deserved this Game 7. LG have played phenomenal, and, not only that, but they were 2-0 down in the series. It's not easy to come back against a team like OpTic.
Now, this will be a mirror matchup, obviously. You saw Glitch as that 4th specialist that is now being used by these teams outside of the big 3. Kinetic Armor can be useful on this map. Heatwave can be useful, but I love Active Camo on Redwood Revan. Why is it so good on this map compared to some others?
I mean, you talk about trying to find the first blood to open up either bomb site. I feel like it's more useful for at the A bomb site. You peek around that middle tree platform. You spot, okay, is there somebody at the first tree in front of me? Are they behind the barrels? Are they behind the bomb site? And that guy can't see you, so it's an easy way to open things up with first blood.
It definitely is. We talk about the OpTic Gaming clutch factor. This man has it more than any other. And how fitting is it? A 10.7 kills per S&D average. One of the 5 NACWL players that have.
You should have brought that up, Jack.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, we brought up stats for the last game either way, and they wound up not going in their favor. So
I want to see if he does that right now, though. That's an average over all these games that he's played. If he does the same now, it's just proving a point once again. It doesn't matter if he's Game 7, Game 1, a CWL game on a Tuesday. He'll turn up. So I'll be watching Crim.
Crim is the guy that hates tacticals the most of anybody in this lobby. So with them being banned out, that's a silver lining for him here. With all those snipers being banned, do we really see any sniper presence from OpTic Gaming?
Yeah, I think you'll see a PO6 coming out of form. I mean, you still have the Varyscope, and of course, the wall running is so effective on a map like Redwood, just to spot for information. I mean, from back lab, you hit the top wall run, you could spot anybody over in your top bunker. I definitely feel like we'll see some sort of sniper presence here.
I mean, it's got to be a scary moment right now for the OpTic Gaming fans. They're getting flashbacks to that TSM series. And the things we're seeing right now is when OpTic Gaming barely won that series versus TSM, the overall thought was TSM lost that series. They threw that away. They should have won that series. You look at Luminosity, they lose that uplink earlier on. that would have been their deciding factor. They would have taken the series already 4-2. Instead, now we will get a Game 7 Redwood Search and Destroy brought to you by Maven and Machine.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah, well, we were looking through the stats for this one. Crim and Saints are absurd here. Yep. Like both I believe average double digits. The only reason I actually selected Crim statistically is because I think he had played like 2 more times than Saints, so you had a little bit less to work with on Saints' side. But he has something like a 1.88 KD. So you have 2 monsters on this map. The last time I casted Crim here, when pushing towards the B site, he was flying into lab and having his way with the opposition offensively. Curious to see if he continues that pace here.
I too replicate that curiosity. Luminosity have taken it to a Game 7 versus the North American giants that are OpTic, and it does end here with Redwood. The next 11 rounds will dictate the future of these 2 teams. It is elimination time, and both teams are on the ropes. These next rounds, this first round, we are on board with the main man himself, Crim6. We said he likes this map. We see he has an affinity for Redwood. Let's see if he can start with a first blood. There are 2 players to find here on B, and looks like a Scump's going to finish the work.
And he's going to just fly through. Oh, a Scump's going to get done. Crim, when we were watching him play, he was just pushing over and over again into lab, just having his way, winning all of these one-on-one gunfights. But off the rip, it has been Scump. Let's check him out, just see what Scump can do if he can continue for the ace. But Karma's able to find one. All of a sudden, it's going to be Study by himself, and that is Crim pushing into lab and finding it. 4 up, 4 down, 1 round on the board for OpTic Gaming.
I mean, starting with a bang, there's no better way of doing that, not conceding a single player and just go ahead and just walk all over LG. They're going to try and do that exactly the same thing here on the defense. The question is, though, do they have any form of offense on their defense? Is it going to be aggressive from
One thing to consider, too, I feel like OpTic has been better at this map offensively a lot as of late. They've just been so good at effectively trading and pushing forward. So you got to think about it. This is one where if this goes the distance, you're going to a round 11 and your OpTic already starting up 4-0, you're probably looking at a defense. So this is one where it may actually hurt you if it ends up going down to the wire. But let's see how the side of Luminosity opts to push. They're going towards A, and A is a dead zone right now for OpTic Gaming. Nobody home.
It's going to be the after-plant situation. So LG, they have an opportunity to not only get this bomb down, but set up as well. You have to create a perimeter. I wouldn't mind. I would like to see Nameless perhaps push a bit further towards the OpTic spawn, but he hasn't chosen to do so. Instead, they are just going to set up. I like that they've got Study just locked right in the back towards their own spawn. And at this point in time, OpTic, they're so scattered. They've only got 35 seconds left, Maven.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at the minimap. So it is going to be a 4v3. The one nice push about this is Study's going to be in no man's land. Not able to help here. They're not able to find the first kill, though. It is going to go the way. They're able to trade it out, though. We'll get off of Study because Study, you know, is wrapping back. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Nameless. Can they get it done here?
LG don't need to be taking these fights. What on earth is going on? Scump's just been gifted. Oh, I say gift-wrapped in 1 kill, not the second. His head just been taken
it's
clean up.
Oh, there
my
it
God.
is. It's the RK5 of Saints. The 2 men we talked about to kick this off. Saints, Crim, absolute beast on Redwood, and it is Saints getting it done with the final 2 kills. He goes high, he snaps, and he locks it down with the RK5.
Big work with that sidearm as well, just melts that final adversary, especially when he's got such little health himself. It will be 1-1. OpTic do find a rebuttal, Luminosity find a rebuttal, albeit it wasn't a particularly pretty one. I mean, they got the bomb down for free.
Very, very different offenses
yes.
from both. One, the coast was very, very clear. OpTic loses nobody. Well, actually, for Luminosity, they get a free plant out of it, but it was a nice attempted retake there from the side. Now, what is Study
just
using here? So he's actually pulled out the Locust. Go ahead and ban my SVG. I'm finding faces with the Locust. And look how pushed up they are already on defense. Like look where Saints is, for God's sake. He's got them pushed so far back, but you do have the bomb site. It's actually an HC being called in by Scump, but it's going to be picked up. I have to go back to the gunfight here as Saints is able to find it. Saints able to push into the top side of bunker and find one. There's going to be now 2 players left. Make it 1. It's Scump by himself, and Luminosity looking to get control back. So it was 4 up, 4 down for OpTic the first round. The opposite is true here. LG losing nobody.
That's a satisfying feeling to just respond and not let OpTic build up that hype. You know, not letting them kind of ride this hype wave, as we used to call it in stage 1. This time, Luminosity just fight back with their own 4-0. Solid work from them. Not conceding a single player is such a good feeling. We do go then 2-1. If you're just joining us and you're wondering what on earth is going on, this is the 7th map in a best of 7. It is determined here on Redwood, and we have the great pleasure of bringing you all of the actions. Currently, Saints, pun probably intended, is a god currently here on the Search and Destroy. And he's going to go ahead and pull a HCXD gifted because of those 4 kills he got in quick succession.
And look, the early pressure from Luminosity towards A is now keeping OpTic Gaming honest. They now split 2-2. They lose 1 player. It's going to be a lone defense right now for Karma. He has to go huge. They've already lost their best S&D player on Redwood. Crim6 out of the map. the plant has gone down, and now you have to work the retake down a man.
Luminosity looking like it could be 3, and Nameless is going to extend that. OpTic are starting to crumble, looking weak at the knees. It's just Scump and Karma. They're running out of time, and they're running out of players. Just Karma does remain, and he is going to get hunted down. Solid work from Study, a double with the RK5. Half of the enemy team melting in front of his sidearm, and that's going to be 3. Luminosity are halfway there.
3-1 for LG, and we may be looking at one of the bigger upsets we've seen here in the CWL. Is your 2 seed going up against your 7. You know, we were impressed with what we saw from at MLG Anaheim, specifically from Study and Saints. They were absolute monsters at the most recent LAN. They are proving they can hang with anybody here. And, I mean, the big thing, so it's OpTic that bans the snipers, so you kind of take Formal out of that role. Study seems to be reacting fine to it, doing damage with the RK5. He's 4-2. On the other side of it, typically your sniper for OpTic Gaming, Formal, has yet to pick up a kill.
I don't know why all OpTic Gaming fans bought a whole gaming chair, because all they need is the edge of it here as they sit watching their team try and battle back. 3-1 now here in the final game of this series. H60
Let's
is
look
in
at
play.
the HC. Let's check Study's HC. He's going to push the corner. Better hope you have Blackjack if they're able to take it out, and he is the lone man. Now it's going to be the flank that's going to be important. Karma in position here, maybe to find it, one in bunker. He's got that strong RK5 out. Formal now finally able to get on the board. They find another kill. It's actually Formal picking up 2. He's working on the ace currently. They're working to get the bomb plant. We have to get back to Karma's POV. Now, do both players have dead silence inside? I mean, look how close this is. Comes around the corner. Hello. Picks it up. Now it's Saints in the 1v4. Can he get it done? We'll switch to his POV. No. It has been 2 rounds that have been closed out by 2 pieces with the RK5. Sick stuff, man.
Absolutely sick stuff, and OpTic needed that round. Formal most definitely opened a fantastic case for that round, though. We know that the impact of First Blood, well, a double with that assault rifle was a fantastic start for OpTic, and it's not something they've actually had in this series. It's not been given to them, especially in this map in particular. They've had to work and grind so hard to get these entries. Fortunately, Formal does just gift wrap the round with a double kill, and now we get an opportunity to see the Locust in play once again. Study already has done it before. We'll see if he can do it again.
Yeah, let's see if he can get an early pick. You know, OpTic hoping to maybe not to worry about the sniper so much. Unfortunately, that's not the case, as he's loaded this thing up with a Varix and looking to make plays. There's an entry kill from Nameless as he finds one inside a bunker. This was his POV as he found Scump mid-map and opened things early for Luminosity.
Yeah, Scump took a bit of a gamble there. Oh, Saints is going to get another one. This is looking like 4.
And Formal got a burst in him and then didn't hit him again. Saints with the Man of War just overpowering him. And all of a sudden, it's Karma in a 1v4. These have been some lopsided back and forth rounds.
Wow, this is getting absolutely mad. 40 seconds and they shave 10 seconds off the clock with Saints again. 2 rounds away now from causing one of the biggest upsets we've seen here in the World League. OpTic could get taken out in the first round here of the Stage 2 finals.
This would be incredible stuff from LG. What a victory it would be for them if they can get it done here. You see Saints closing it out with round-ending kill cam. Now, they're going to be getting back to the defensive side of things. LG just 2 rounds away from an incredible upset. And ever since that first offensive round where they just kind of bullied their way onto the site, it's been much, much harder to gain any footing from the offensive side. And this is an all push up mid-map. Let's get to mid. Wow. They're just flying in. They picked up kills. They picked up the nade. Everybody's gone. It's just Scump by himself. This looks to be the 5th round. He's like, where are my teammates? I'm hanging back. I'm at the bridge. And now he's cut down. 1 round away is Luminosity. I don't think anyone's breathing in here.
I'm struggling to understand. 5 rounds for Luminosity. They are so close. Just 1 of these following rounds is all they need to cause this upset. We said it was going to be tough for Luminosity, but now they stand with an opportunity to get closer to that trophy. OpTic, they have to do the 4-round comeback. It's absolutely
I'll tell you
insane,
what,
Maven.
We'll focus on OpTic Gaming through the rest here because
Absolutely.
they've got to clutch up. They're the ones that have to pull off 4 rounds in a row. Can they get it done, or will it prove too much?
They say these high-pressure scenarios are where champions are formed, and now Scump has an opportunity to do just that here on the outside area. There are 2 players there. Nameless has already got first blood. There's a HCXD. Scump's tickled.
He's out of there.
He's not going down.
He might get pushed. Nameless not going to push the corner, so he is going to stay alive. The HC not able to finish it up, but now we got to switch sides as Krim is going to get pushed. He's going to have to back down. Lab, there's one up high as well. He's able to find that. He has his glitch to work with. They're able to tie it up at 3 apiece, but he's got to be careful. If he peeks this window, Nameless is going to line him up. You see his POV there. We'll get back to Krim as he's playing defense. Can he catch the bomb carry? Has glitch to work with. Hello, able to find it. Buck gets dropped. That Study coming in with the snipe. It's out to a 2v2. The plant actually gets down before he's able to pick it up.
Luminosity pressure mounting, then they've got to go ahead and try and get that defuse, and Scump goes flying into the sky. Nameless has been so influential from Broken. He's got another 2 in this round alone.
Versus 1. 30 seconds on the clock. Scump has to go huge here. He has a VMP to work with. It's going to be Nameless to back. He spotted him. Can he win it? Nameless gets it, and that is it. He guns Scump for the 6-2 victory, and LG have gotten one of the biggest upsets we've seen at the CWO. They've done it.
OpTic Gaming falling in the first round of the Stage 2 finals. No one, absolutely no one would have said this was going to happen. We said we were going to get a good series, but Luminosity get a step closer to the trophy, and that is going to blow the minds of every Call of Duty fan currently tuned in.
I would have almost guaranteed Scump would win that one-on-one. When he saw him at the edge, range with the VMP, you think he's going to win it. But I believe it was, what was it, a Man of War, an M8 that Nameless had there?
No, Nameless on the Man of War. He's been an absolute man at war in Redwood. He was mad, absolutely insane.
What a performance you get there, guys. That's one for the record books.
Wow.
As that upset is just absolute insanity there. You saw Study going big, despite the fact that they targeted, all his main sniping utility. You saw the overkill go. You saw the SVG, the thermal. He throws the Varix on the Locust and gets crucial kills. Because when Krim goes out and actually tries to glitch back, he gets sniped before he can get out of there. That was insane.
I just can't help but feel OpTic had their aggression punished, especially on like those 3-4 rounds where Scump tries something in the middle, tries something towards A, and just gets slapped in the face by Luminosity, and that is going to be a huge slap in the face to OpTic as they do not advance in this tournament.
What can you say? I mean, props to LG. They were down, 3-1?
Yes.
They rip off 2 games to bring it, back-to-back, to bring it to the game 7. What a monumental win for LG. That was incredible, man.
The handsome men on the desk actually said that it was going to be ending. Do you not remember why way back they were doubting them on Fringe, and Luminosity have gone one better, and they are going to be a bit hot under the collar after that one.
They are, but insane stuff. We are going to have an interview live on stage here with the side of Luminosity.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Guys, I am here with the winners. I've got Study here. Now, I'll tell you what, I got asked a little earlier a random question. Do I believe in God? Right now, I believe in 4 of them. And that's your team. Good, sir. How are you feeling right now?
Honestly, I feel amazing.
Dude, I'm shaking with excitement more than you are.
Yeah. Looked at all my teammates after we went down 3-1. We felt like we should have won the evac uplink, and they clutched up. And we just stayed composed somehow. My teammates, I look at Nameless every time. Me and him do historic things a lot. Saints is literally a monster. Spacely is the best OBJ player I've ever seen in my life. I love my team. I wouldn't change them for the world, and I feel amazing right now.
You're all animals. If you weren't so handsome, I'd be scared of you guys for sure. But look, it was such a crazy series. You've taken down who were arguably the favorites to take out the North American Pro Division for Stage 2, OpTic Gaming, in the final game, the final S&D. With everything banned out, you still went a snipe. Tell me what was going through your mind after the ban and protect.
I'm just way too confident. Like, if you can ban as many snipers as you want, you can't ban all 4. So I'm going to use one of them regardless, because if I'm feeling myself and if I'm shooting straight, and I'm pulling out the Locust, I'm pulling out the SVG, the PO6, anything. If I'm hitting my shots and my teammates are giving me all this hype, then it's going to be like that. It doesn't matter what gun I have.
You were definitely hitting shots, man. Even I was afraid. Look, just to wrap things up, finally, I just want some words from you. What would you say to the people who doubted you to take down the favorites OpTic Gaming?
Honestly, they're the best team in the game. I did a couple interviews, and there was only one team I wanted to play. And OpTic Gaming was the team I wanted to play because they're the best team. In order to be the best, you got to beat the best. And to everybody out there, thanks for all the support. LG Loyal, I love all you guys. Thank you.
Well, it was time to play, and Study played along with the rest of his team. Congratulations, guys. I'm going to throw it to you on the couch for analysis of that amazing series.
Always well-spoken. Incredible to hear from Study as they go ahead and knock out OpTic Gaming, taking the Game 7, an overall map count of 4-3, up against all odds, down 3-1. They clutch up, they go big. And now Luminosity have done what few have done before. That's beat OpTic Gaming a best of 7.
That was absolutely insane, and I love the post-match interview Study gave, just giving props to his teammates as well. Well-spoken individual, and he had a massive last game there.
He definitely did. When the sniper came out, he was not missing. It was awesome to watch. It was really interesting. Is yesterday, I did a little video piece with Luminosity. It's stuff that'll come in the future, but a question was brought up. Who would you want in a Game 7 1v1 scenario that you need to clutch? And almost everybody on the team said Nameless. And what does he do right there? He beats arguably the best player in the history of Call of Duty, Scump. in a one-on-one to secure that series for his team. Momo, will you ever forget seeing this live?
This goes down in history as like my biggest upset that I've seen like for a very, very long time. And people, you know, the cliches like you're on the edge of your seat. I've got goosebumps. Like I had it, like everything. Like me, us three, we're sat here, we're up and down. It's just a mix of emotions almost to see something like that. And for the guys at home, what a way to kick off a Thursday of Call of Duty.
Yeah, right. There's still three more days of action to come with obviously Australia, New Zealand, EU, and then the rest of the North American tournaments. That FaZe OpTic semifinal, so many people thought we were going to see, is done. And I guess
once again, they find a way to avoid each other.
FaZe avoid OpTic gaming again for OpTic trying to get revenge of the LAN victories and opportunities to match them in Black Ops 3. I still can't believe what I just saw. Luminosity go big.
I'm speechless, like, to think, you know, what happens, like, time and time again, we go, oh, OpTic clutch up, game 7, round 11, OpTic clutch up. It's the same thing time and time again. But LG, and you know, you heard Study there, and the whole team, they didn't let it phase them. They went 2-0 down in a series and just fought their way back. It was brutal. It was great.
Now, I do believe we have a replay of that final round. Let's see how it all broke down. This was one where I thought this was done when Study pushed in. I was so angry at him. But then, Revan, you put your arm on me. You said, this is not done yet.
I mean, yeah, it comes down to a 1v1, and Scump, he knows that Nameless has to check the bomb in this scenario. So he spots him out of the corner of his eye. You figure M8 versus VMP up close, you figure the VMP would win that, but somehow Nameless finds a way. And look, throughout the entirety of this last map, I feel like Luminosity, they started out like the majority of the rounds with first blood. They had the man advantage, and they would just chain kills one after another. Whenever they had the numerical advantage, they played it perfectly.
Well, backstage, we do have an interview with Karma from OpTic Gaming. Take it away.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am here backstage with Karma of OpTic Gaming. Karma, it's always tough to take an interview after a loss. Look, you came into the competition hot favorites. Everyone thought you were going to take this one. We had a chat to you guys yesterday. We knew this series was still going to be tough. I got to just get your thoughts after that.
Honestly, in the S&Ds, at least the last one, we tried banning out the sniper because he was doing really well with it, Study, on Fringe. So we banned the thermal, we banned the SVG, and I don't know, I guess he wasn't getting any hit markers with the Locust, so that really costed us. They played well in the S&D at Anaheim versus us. I think they 6-0'd us on Breach. And other than that, I'd say the uplinks really were the turning point in the game. Like, we lost Fringe Hardpoint. Could be to us like not practicing as much as we could have or should have. So that really put a dent in us because we don't really lose Fringe Hardpoint. And then, I mean, uplink, we just, I don't know, it was kind of all over the place and wasn't what we normally play.
I wanted to ask about that a little bit more because all the analysts, they kind of thought, well, the series is over at the hard point on Fringe. Is there something, was there a turning point? What was it that went wrong for your team?
I'd say the turning point, there was one point we actually had the Grandma rotation, and I had an AR, and Krim was trains, I think, and I ended up pushing up into the hill to go into the hill to get it when it popped up, and they all pushed Krim trains, and I think we spawned out. So, I mean, I don't know if that was, like, the reason why we lost, but it definitely helped them in that because they got the second Grandma rotation, and that's huge, you know. That's like 120 points of the game that you pretty much get guaranteed if you have that hill. So, I mean, that was probably the turning point. We didn't really play the second hill that great. So, yeah, I don't know. We were kind of just all over the place. Like, sometimes we played really well, like that Stronghold CTF. Even the first map, we played really well. And then, I don't know, the other maps, I don't know. I really don't know what to tell you.
Well, look, no doubt we're going to be seeing you and your squad at COD Champs, COD XP, just a couple of months away. What's going to change for you and the boys between now and then?
Well, I mean, COD Champs coming up, you know, that's... Well, I mean, the second event we have is Orlando and then Champs, so hopefully we can come back, MLG Orlando, do well there. And, I mean, when Champs comes around, I don't think there's a day we're going to miss practice. You know, it's going to be like almost 7 days a week, especially with single elimination, you know. You got to give it your all and go out and play your best on that day, and if you don't, well, you're going to be out.
Well, commiserations on your loss. I'm sure you guys will come bouncing back. You always do. I'm sure we'll see you on top again. Guys, that's Karma from OpTic Gaming after just going down to Luminosity. I'm going to send it back to the boys on the couch to wrap up the day.
Great interview from Karma right there, giving his perspective on the series. Appreciate his honesty. He says at times they just weren't playing up to their normal par. Luminosity, they took advantage of the situations they were presented with, and they take the series. And OpTic Gaming will not be able to defend their title in the grand finals. as they will fall in the top 8 of Stage 2.
I mean, look, coming into this matchup, this is one that we've been talking about for a couple of days now. We were like, well, at the tail end of Stage 2, this is a very hot Luminosity team. At times, OpTic Gaming, really, they didn't have like too much of a reason to practice. They've been up top. They haven't really been challenged by anyone, but hopefully this is the spark that they needed, you know. Obviously, this is probably one of the teams in the league that takes losses the toughest out of anybody. So I'm really interested to see how OpTic Gaming now bounce back from that.
That's just the end of day 1 of the Call of Duty World League Stage 2 Global Finals. We've still got 3 more days of action to come. Let's first recap what has gone down on day 1. We'll start off with EU. The first matches of the day, we saw Epsilon go up against Millennium. Millennium able to win that in 6 games by a final map count of 4-2. That sets them up for a semifinal versus Hyper Games. They're looking for revenge after Millennium had dropped that series against Hyper Games back at Gfinity just a few weeks ago. On the other side of the bracket, though, Splice, they had a little bit of an easier road. They took down Supremacy with ease. They won that series 4-0 in the sweep. And now they're matched up to face Infused. These 4 teams, Millennium, Splice, Infused, and Hyper Games, arguably the top 4 in Europe at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, these the top 4 seeds, no real upsets here in Europe. Epsilon actually putting up a bit more of a fight than I anticipated. Some people, you know, kind of didn't give them the respect that they deserved, but the top 4 are the top 4, and we'll be seeing them in the semifinal.
That's a look at Europe. Now let's talk about North America. Obviously, ANZ did not have any matches today, but in North America, we saw the upset of potentially the year with OpTic Gaming. First, though, let's start with Envy H2K. Envy beat H2K in, well, arguably the best fashion we've seen a team play today. Envy now, with no longer having to go through a team like OpTic Gaming, their championship opportunities, I think, just got a lot brighter.
They still got to get past the winner of Rise Nation versus Cloud9, which is something we'll see tomorrow. All eyes on Cloud9, I think. Of course, who knows what we're going to get from Rise Nation, but that envious matchup, they had an easy road against H2K.
Luminosity then do what people thought was impossible, beat OpTic Gaming 4-3, and that leaves us with FaZe Clan and Dream Team to play, and Rise Nation versus Cloud9. Let's look at tomorrow, though. It's Friday, and it's Rise Nation versus Cloud9 to start, FaZe Clan versus Dream Team, and then later on in the day, Orbit versus Immunity, and then to close it out, Mind Freak versus Chiefs. Another fantastic day of action to come, starting with North America, ending with the Australian-New Zealand division. Wow, what a day 1 we just saw. Momo, final thoughts?
I just can't get my head around what I've just finished on there. It was OpTic Gaming, you know, going out in such a shock. I think, yeah, it's a big disappointment for so many fans out there, but it just kind of opens so many doors for so many teams right now. Every single player and every single team, bar OpTic, of course, are thinking, we can win this now. Like, no one thought that really anyone was going to kind of take down OpTic, and they fall on Thursday.
Revan, final thoughts?
I think today just goes to show how tight the competition actually is in North America, how on any given day, one team could beat another, and it's really cool to see. I mean, it's something in the competitive Call of Duty scene, really it's only been like a struggle for like maybe 1 or 2, 3 teams to contend for that #1 title, but at this point in the game, feels like anybody can take it.
It most certainly does, and that gets me excited for the rest of the competition this weekend. As we said, that's just day 1 of 4 in the books. We'll be live again tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll see you there.